Hello, Wastelanders. How are you all doing? And hello, everyone who's watching. Wasteland Watchers, is that a thing? I guess it is now, isn't it?
It's quite cool.
It's like the most extreme version of rubbernecking. Actually,
That's what I was going to say, actually.
Waste Watchers. Oh, yes. Yes. How are you all?
Super duper.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Rocking.
Glad to have you back. Hello, Chris.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Very well.
We made sure to get Augusta back to you in as close to the condition that you lent her out to Julia. She's got a few nicks, dings, and bangs and bullet holes, but apart from that, she's fine.
She's got no arms, Dan.
But she's still got her looks, and that's the silver lining in every cloud. But yes,
Thanks.
we're back again to play some Fallout London 2D20, where we last left off. You'd all successfully rummaged through a warehouse that may or may not have had a bit of a feral ghoul infestation, which you handily dealt with, and armed with a significant amount of capital L loot. You've now continued back on the road towards Crystal Palace, in search of an artifact, a device known as a Gek, the existence of which was told to you by a dying woman by the name of Mika. You are accompanied by not one but two NPCs now, the enigmatic Dr. Rast and the ever-lovable dog who's also called Mika now, named in honor. So, yes, with all of that said, who's ready to jump back into the old blighty wasteland?
Yee. So ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me. Okay. So, after the warehouse, you travel for some hours. It was mid-morning when you reached the warehouse, and you successfully travel throughout the day without really meeting any kind of adverse activity on your journeys. Towards the eve, as the sun begins to crest towards the western horizon, you hear Rast, who's been at the front of the group, walking with a decidedly more kind of fervor and confidence now. You hear him say, sort quietly, as if to himself, but loud enough for you all to hear, "Oh, there she is." And before you rises what appears to be a half-mile wide, 3-story tall structure made up of a conglomeration of huts, shacks, and buildings, reinforced with ramparts and layer upon layer of rusted scrap metal to fortify the settlement. Painted over the closed and barricaded gates of the city on its metal wall is a sigil of the settlement, a white castle tower. Rast wipes sweat from his forehead and breathes a deep sigh of relief. He looks around anxiously and darts across the street to a call box set into the wall at the side of the gate. He presses a button and a sharp hiss emits from the box, followed by a crackling sound. Rast speaks into the box. It's Dr. Rast. I came through and stayed here a while recently. My friends and I need a safe place to stay for a day or so. We have goods to trade. There is a long silence on the other end. Then, after a burst of static, a young man's voice echoes out of the box. "Bloody hell, Dr. Rast! Yeah, I remember you. All right, you and your friends stand back from the gate and welcome to Crystal Palace." And as you hear the sounds of scraping metal and conversation from the other side of the door, Lucky, you take a step back as you look up at the marvel of post-war civilization that is your home, Crystal Palace.
Ain't it beautiful? Ain't it beautiful?
So, who of you have been to Crystal Palace? Lucky, obviously. Augusta? Mona? Has Marvin ever visited?
No, that was still the putting of her hand.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
thinking.
a bit behind.
Sorry.
Like, yeah, sure, I've been there.
Brilliant.
Is it everyone but Bailey?
I mean, Mona grew up in Crystal Palace, so definitely.
Gotcha. Okay, well, in which case, for some of you, the sight of Crystal Palace is more awe-inspiring than it is for others. But as the gates like kind of swing outwards towards you, and you like beyond the gates, there's a short walkway up to the beyond the walls. There's a short walkway up to the palace proper, and as the first minutes of twilight touch the evening sky, you enter Crystal Palace, known as one of London's last standing neutral bastions. The fortified city is built on the grounds of the Crystal Palace exhibition, and naturally has come to resemble the great structure of the mid-1800s. Stacked rows of accommodation, traders' bazaars and workshops sit amongst the walkways and stairwells of the Crystal Palace's scaffolding-like interior, extending east and west from a central space dominated by an inoperational water fountain, all aglow with the light of neon signs and hanging lamps. Armed guards wander the settlement, adorned in uniforms reminiscent of pre-war London police, colloquially known as the Old Bill, or Billies. An energetic young man wearing the uniform of the Old Bill leads you up through the south transept, a clustered stretch of merchants, settlers and guards, despite the time towards the central fountain. On the top level, he points out, you'll find the wealthiest residents, while the poorer residents strive to make a modest living on the busy and bustling ground and first floors below. Dr. Rast removes his gas mask, breathes a deep breath and smiles. He tucks a mask at his side and turns to you to say, Crystal Palace, it's one of a kind. I'll see about getting us a place to stay for the night. If you're exploring the city or visiting the shops, see if what you can learn about Mika and this Clements person. When you're ready, you'll find me at the King Harry. And with that, Rast turns and vanishes into the crowd of peddlers, settlers, and scavengers that roam the city streets. And so, we find you all gathered around the central fountain on the ground floor of Crystal Palace. So, as you kind of look around, and again, for some of you, this number of people in such an enclosed space is more or less normal, depending on who you are. But I think, yeah, certainly for you, Bailey, like as you take a look around, the effort and coordination that must have gone into making this place, as you look up and you can see kind of metal, like corrugated iron shacks stacked on top of each other, 3 stories high. You can see these walkways and kind of bridges arcing, like spanning the space, the gaps above you. There are smells and voices and like sounds just all around you, and everyone oddly looks quite happy. Everyone looks quite content, especially down here in the sort of like the traders area. But for those of you who have been here, you know that if you're gonna find, like, you've been told by Mika that you're to talk to a man called Clements, who's somewhere in Crystal Palace, and you know that there's enough loose lips or people willing to chat that you'll be able to find information on this Clements, just as long as you know where to look. So with that in mind, happy, given that this is decidedly home turf, what do you do as you the five of you kind of take in the sights?
Well, first of all, I guess I'm looking around for any of my associates that might have come on the door. But also, I'm looking at my group. Do they look like? Because before this little adventure, I hadn't really seen them before. So, do they look like they've seen this place, or does anybody looking up in awe or anything like that? So I'm looking at my group.
Sure. Is there anyone in particular that you're studying?
Well, I would imagine that how many there are a decent amount of ghouls and stuff in Crystal Palace, aren't there? So it's coming more and more.
Yeah, I mean, there's still an air of distrust around some ghouls, but as an overall general public sentiment, like, ghouls are being more welcomed as time goes on.
So I guess what I'm doing is I'm looking at, probably more so than anybody else, is the ghoul and the tin can. How are they reacting in this area?
Sure. Well, we'll start with Marvin. Like, Marvin, what, as you just kind of, you're able to, at times thrust up a little bit higher to get a better look around over the heads of everyone milling about. But what do you make of Crystal Palace?
Marvin just keeps thinking, oh, so many organic beings looking happy. Ew. So you can kind of sense that they are not, it's not the happiest or the most impressed.
I can imagine your three arms which are kind of like coming into your,
God bless.
your central thruster. And you're, oh,
that might touch me.
Okay, so Lucky. Marvin looks a bit wary of people for some reason, and Bailey, what's going through their mind?
Their cap is pulled down a little over their eyes. The scarf is kind of wrapped up around their face, over the nose. Their hands are like thrust into their pockets, and they're looking a little bit like withdrawn. At the moment, they are mostly just waiting for this to all go to shit, because it always does sooner or later. So, yeah, I'm just trying not to. I'm looking probably more withdrawn than you've seen Bailey in the time that you've known him.
So, with that in mind, I'll probably go over to Bailey and say, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look at this. Look at this lovely, lovely place. Oh, it's an absolute marvel, wasn't it? Over there, I made that place. I did. Basically, that's down to me. Look how it's thriving. Loads of people. Don't worry. I got you."
Yeah, really impressive. Yeah, good.
So, whilst Happy is kind of consoling Bailey, Augusta and Mona, what is it that you're doing? Augusta. What is Augusta doing?
Augusta is looking around for probably like tech shops in particular, like scanning around to see, like, I guess this is kind of like a bazaar area, Dan. Is that the kind of vibe? Like an indoor bazaar rather than shops?
Yeah, so this central area, so basically where you're stood, so yeah, Crystal Palace spans to the east and west from you, about quarter of a mile both ways. Like it's a big build. It's a big area. In this central area, kind of led to from the south entrance, it seems to be a lot. It seems to be where a lot of the kind of trade happens. Specifically, the shop that's relatively near you, called Bits and Bobs.
Bits and Bobs.
Bits and Bobs.
Not bits of Bob.
Not Bits of Bob. No. That's the butchers upstairs.
Oh, excellent.
That's
So
Bob's
no,
Bits.
so you've got Bits and Bobs. That that's where there's no kind of trade. Whilst trade is very rampant in Crystal Palace, it's also quite controlled. So that you discovered that bartering and trading with outsiders tends to kind of pretty much all go through Bits and Bobs. There are obviously like shops and the like businesses throughout the rest of the settlement, but for actual kind of hard and fast trading, and that might also be information. Yeah, Bits and Bobs is the place to go.
Yeah, so I'm definitely drawn to Bits and Bobs and kind of scanning from the outside to see if I can see anything of interest, anything that might look a little bit unusual, anything that we might be able to use.
Okay, so if you're interested in Bits and Bobs, so Augusta, did you kind of point out the trading post? Mona, what are you thinking?
Mona, to anyone looking, looks a lot more weary than she should. A little bit put out, and deep down, she's fighting the urge to just go home, which is the top level of the city, if you can call it a city, to where her family is. But she knows that she's kind of like has to stick around and see this through for more recent events, etc. So she looks weary and she looks a little bit, come on then, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
And so she's looking around and not really seeing a lot.
Oh.
So thinking about it, given that 4 or 5 of you have been here and at least 2 of you are locals, like proper locals. So just to give you a run through of the points of interest. So you have Bits and Bobs, which is a trading post. Rast has informed you that he's heading to the King Harry, which is one of the more popular kind of tavern, inn, pub type places. There's on the first floor, you've gotten a lot of chat out of the Lady of Bristol, which is a weapons store.
Of
course it is. And also sort of like for people coming and going, Lloyd's Apothecary has a lot of kind of strangers stopping by, so like seeing unusual faces is more common there. Lucky, because you're a bit of a gambling man. Happy, you're a bit of a gambling man.
But I am lucky at gambling, so it's...
You are very lucky at gambling. But you know that you think to yourself as you're back in the city, there is a chap that owes you money. And
that's a rarity.
It is a rarity, yes. And in a time like this, perhaps that would be good to cash in on. But Wilson, who likes his fine food, which is partially why he has a bit of a gambling addiction. If you can track down Wilson, then you could potentially get some kind of money off him. His favourite place to haunt is somewhere called L'Oeuf Magnifique, up on the first floor. And then other points of interest. There's a Capital Radio up on the first floor, and a lot of outsiders come and go and work at the construction site on the ground floor towards the east entrance. So, yeah, with you lot knowing that those are places that would be good to head to, Yeah, so Mona's kind of glancing up at the top floor every so often.
Wistfully.
Yes. But is there anywhere in particular that she thinks might be worth checking out, or someone she thinks would be worth hanging out with?
Probably the apothecary would draw her interest a lot.
Heading to the apothecary. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Happy? What's Happy thinking?
Well, I mean, I'll go to what I know. I think in the old. I might have a few things to show off to my mate Willie Wilson.
You want to track down Willie, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, so tracking down Wilson. So yeah, you've heard him mention L'Oeuf Magnifique a couple of times, so you begin heading that way. Marvin?
Marvin is going to wander around a bit aimlessly, trying to find other machines.
Okay. You know that there are two your hand. How long have you been in Crystal Palace in the past? Would you reckon?
I'm going to assume it was a long time ago.
Cool. Okay. So in which case you've got relatively good relations with Francois, the proprietor of L'Oeuf Magnifique, and Clancy, the shopkeeper in Bits and Bobs.
I think I'm going to go for Bits and Bobs. Let's talk to Clancy.
Okay, talk to Clancy. And as people start peeling off and going in different directions, Bailey, what's your plan?
I'll trail in after the lovely Marvin, I think.
Going to Bits and Bobs as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start off in Bits and Bobs then. So Augusta, Marvin, and Bailey, you take the short. It's just on the other side of the town square, if you will. And I mean, they call it a town square, but basically it's just a crossroads with this circular fountain that's been made out of scrap metal that someone has told you is modern art, but it's not. It doesn't work because there's no running water to it, because that would be a horrendous waste or a health hazard. But as you approach Bits and Bobs, this simple storefront is a mess of shelves and desks cluttered with random objects. A heavy metal door in the back seems to lead to a storeroom. Sat motionless at the center of the storefront is the nighttime shopkeeper, a three-wheeled red postbox robot, a yellow glow emitting from its letter slot, and a name tag stating Clancy stuck to its torso.
Oh, but he looks dapper.
Oh, he's beautiful.
As you approach, Clancy violently accelerates at you, hitting the back of the counter with a bang, before intoning, in a polite male robotic voice, "Welcome to Bits and Bobs! We sell everything! Stim packs, ammunition, outerwear, dinnerware, and explosives!" The red postbox just kind of, the wheels turn and it rotates and, "Oh! Hello, Marvin!"
Hello, Clancy. It's been a while.
"It has. Have you been keeping well?"
As well as you can in these circumstances.
"Marvelous! It
said-
seems you've made some friends, Marvin."
There's a bit of a pause, and then, yes, you said you sell explosives now?
"Yes. We had some mercenaries come through and traded for some bread."
May I take a look?
"Of course," he says. And sort of he gestures, and there's just he reaches down. So basically this thing's got two, so as I say, it's a red letterbox, two large wheels on the side, and then a pilot guider wheel on the front. It's kind of heavily bang dinged graffiti. There's this the glow from the letter slot There's like a grill over the letter slot, but it kind of glows brighter when it talks and dims down when it's quiet. And then from its sides there are two arms with sort of like pneumatic claws, and it kind of spins on the spot, rattles across the floor, and then grabs what appears to be like a plastic crate, which it then bang, like smacks on the desk unceremoniously. And Marvin, as you peer down with one of your eyes, it's got a box of like grenades and various explosives inside. The rest of you can see that there's like behind Clancy on the shelves, there's food, water, chems, weapons, armor, like all sorts, and you realize that this must be where the central flow of traffic is. But as Clancy bangs down this crate on the desk, he sort of like rotates to face you again, Marvin, and now remember, these are explosives. No try before you buy here. Ha 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 ha!
I almost forgot how funny you are.
I've been working on my comedy chops. He then kind of stops in front of Augusta and Bailey, and you must have had a grand time spending all of this time with Marvin over here. Marvin's a great robot.
Well,
I'll give our Marvin a little friendly punch in his metal and be like,
yeah, he's a right old laugher, Marvin. Could I just say, you are looking a lustrous shade of scarlet today, Clancy.
Why, thank you. I've recently been buffed.
Beautiful. Do you mind if I have a little gander through these bombs? And I know a thing or two about these.
Absolutely. And yes, you can see Marvin. Are you like rifling through? I mean, you've got a flamethrower on. Good God, don't put that near the grenades.
I think the flamethrower is not out at the moment.
Sure. Okay. So you just got to picking through the.
Yes. To be honest, if Bailey is also looking, Marvin would give them a bit more space, because his thinking was, this group is not particularly good at looking after themselves. Okay. And if we ever run into like a big group again, we definitely need grenades, because one flamethrower is not going to cut it.
Sure. Don't worry. The second that the word explosives was said, a gleam has been appearing in Bailey's little eyes.
But yeah, I would imagine Marvin occasionally does like nudge the best kind of explosives towards them.
Okay.
Like like in Lady in a Tramp, like the meatball.
Okay. In which case we'll come back to the two of you and your shopping spree. Augusta, is there what's going on? What's going on in Augusta land?
Augusta's really kind of looking at it from a more academic point of view, like, what can I use here? Is there anything that I could use to upgrade our robotic friend, perhaps?
So, there's food, water, chems, weapons, armor, other items. So, you...
I don't like the stuff on the shelves. I like to rummage in the boxes underneath the counter.
Sure.
I want the back room entrance. You know? I want to see the good stuff.
So, okay, tell you what. So while I've got the shop bit open, in terms of explosives, inside this crate there are more cricket ball grenades. There's a frag grenade. There are 2 bottles with a liquid inside, which you assume are Molotovs. There's a frag mine, and the button on the top looks perilously off kilter. And There are two mines. One of them looks slightly different to the other. So there's one with the wonky button, but there's another that's got that looks a bit newer and hums slightly. And then, Augusta, as you have a rummage, what you do notice is on one of the shelves at the back, kind of tucked out of the way around the corner, you see a few plates of what you suspect to be robot armor.
Excuse me, Marvin. Oh, Marvin.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we could use this and get you a new skirt.
Marvin goes gets a bit closer.
I'll offer up and show the plates. Do you think maybe this could be the thing for you? Looks like your color.
Marvin definitely is going to take a closer look and make, I don't know, can a robot make like appreciative noises?
The opposite to the dial-up internet sound.
Yes.
Yes. Which one is it? So you can see that. I mean, it looks like a lot of it looks like factory armor, which is what Marvin is currently outfitted with.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you see what can only be described as like heavy plating. It looks somewhat makeshift. It could be affixed to the robot's structure to provide extra protection from physical hazards. The bulk and crude design reduces the robot's carrying capacity, however.
How much? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, so there's it appears to be well, Marvin, you take one look and realize that clearly this was worn by another Mr. Handy or Gutsy or someone at some point in the past, but it appears to be the main body and 2 arms. For the 3 pieces together, it's a grand total of 40 caps.
I actually have no idea how many caps we have.
I was just looking. I've got 10 in my gear.
I don't think you can afford it.
10.
Unless we go and take a job here.
Marvin's got 13.
Let's extend this by even more.
Bailey has 33.
Sure do.
I mean, whilst you're mulling over the armor, Bailey, are there any explosives you're looking to buy?
Do I have any idea what the weird mine is? Because that's exciting.
Sure. Give me a intelligence explosives check.
Okie doke.
I think it's not the core attribute, so just change your 6 to a 5.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, you've got 3 action points in the bank, so please feel free to spend any of those or your luck points if you so wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little re-roll on that, I think, because that's not gone very well.
No, it is not. 0 successes.
Okay. It's 1 AP per dice, right?
So now you've rolled, it'll be a luck point to reroll.
A luck point. My goodness. All right. Well, I'll chuck a luck point
Precious
at it.
currency.
Why not?
Yes. Okay. So you spent a luck point, so you may reroll both of them by clicking on them both and then hit and reroll. Way, we got a crit.
Yes.
Okay. So, that's 1 more success than you needed. So party AP goes up by 1. You recognize, like the one with the wobbly button is a frag mine. That's easy. That's standard affair.
Mhm.
This other one, it's got like little kind of glass pipes that yeah, it looks very. It's got a heft to it, which is surprising. You recognise that this other mine is a plasma mine.
Oh boy. Okay.
So, you also notice that on little kind of bits of paper, just like tied to the various things with string, the plasma mine, unfortunately, is 135 caps. The cricket ball grenades are 40. The Molotov, the frag grenade is 50. The Molotov cocktails are marked 20 caps each.
Blimey. All right. I will pull out my pipe gun and 16 rounds of .38. So yeah.
Fancy, my good man. What can I get for this fine and lovely gun?
So, which one is it that you're pulling out? Your original
The standard pipe gun, yeah,
standard pipe gun. Okay.
on my 38.
So the postboxer wheels round to you and a Bartok, is it? And it kind of grabs the gun with one of its claws and kind of holds it and just starts turning it. There's a I think I could give you. When he accesses his databases, it's a pipe gun. He'll give you 8 caps for the gun. And how many bullets?
It's 16 rounds.
Of what type?
.38.
0.38. 16. He can give you 12 caps for the lot.
Yeah. Oh, I might as well.
You know what? I'll hang on to the. How many caps did you say it was for the ammo? Was it 4 for the ammo?
4 for the ammo, 8 for the gun.
All right. I'll do half the ammo and the gun then for a total of 10.
Oh, okay. So there's a
If
ka-chink!
possible.
There's a sound of bottle caps chinking, and there's 10 caps in the barter window in between you and the post box.
Magic. Do I see anywhere in this store? Ideally aviators, but any sunglasses.
Could have just asked Happy.
That's a fair point.
You could. I suspect Happy has got a supply.
Of very, very genuine real sunglasses.
And
And
okay, so you've got 10 caps worth of credit with Clancy at the moment. Augusta and Marvin, where are you? What are you thinking with your Marvin upgrades?
I think Marvin at this point is going through the shop and picking things up that it would like added to its frame. So Augusta is surrounded by arm attachments, couple of weapons, and optics upgrades.
Sure.
Listen, look, we can't do all of these. You must understand, I want doesn't get, okay?
I see your point, but we need to choose the best, and you are the expert.
What do I think would benefit, in my experience, Dan? What would benefit Marvin the most here?
So you're kind of worried that Marvin is like gesturing towards some metal plates that've got like a biohazard symbol stuck to them, and like there's a distinct kind of like smell coming off it. So you've also noticed that there's one plate, like one torso plate set that Marvin's gesturing towards, that's just kind of covered in wires that are dangerously exposed and just kind of spark and fizz every so often. And just like one of the eyes is just kind of like, yes, nodding at you. So basically, Marvin's pretty much picked out all of them. So there's the heavy armor, which would improve physical resistance. There's some metal. There's some plates with like jagged metal just welded to it, pointing outwards in a very kind of serrated kind of way. So there's some serrated plates. There's noxious plate. There's toxic plate. There's actuated frames. Yeah, it's
Okay.
it'll all do relatively the same thing, but
I think that perhaps, since some of us are living, we should stick to just the metal stuff. You are a wonderful expert at attacking, so let's keep it to the defense for now. How does that sound?
It sounds wise. And you get the distinct feeling it's very disappointed.
Oh, goodness me.
Like what? His arms go a bit like.
You've got all this to come yet, Tilda.
So, yeah, the primal plate, which will improve Marvin's armor at the cost of carrying capacity. Yeah, there's a torso plate and then 2 arms. So the torso's 20 caps, the arms are 10 each.
Yeah, I think the torso probably should be enough.
Well,
Can we
okay.
even afford that?
we between us, we can afford this. Don't worry, Marvin. And we might even have enough for something tasty to eat and some oil afterwards. Now, I say, you seem to have a bit of rapport with the old postie over there. Any chance that you could knock a few caps off, eh?
Oh, I'm sure something can be arranged.
Okay, well, listen. You have to understand that these young red fellows, they've only got one thing on their mind, and you are not to touch his oiling, okay? You keep it to yourself. Now, over to you.
Marvin,
Yes.
give me a persuasion speech check.
Persuasion speech. Okay.
Go on,
Sorry,
Marv.
charisma, not it's perception, is it? Sorry, charisma speech. So just
That's
the
better.
default.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go on, Marvin.
Okay. I'm also going to steal 1 AP
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did that from the pool. There it goes.
to roll 3 dice. Okay, let's hope 2 successes.
Okay. So you gesture Clancy over and he bonk like hits the back of the stand again. And what do you say to him?
Clancy, we have known each other a while, haven't we?
Yes.
And me and my friends are about to spend some caps in your lovely shop. Is there a chance for a discount for an old friend? And then it leans a bit closer and tries to quietly say, it will go towards a good cause. Wink, wink. And he actually says wink, wink out loud.
Clancy, as you lean in, the front wheel on the front of this post box kind of like tilts up a bit, so Clancy also leans in until like post box and metal frame bonk, like come into contact. And Clancy says, "Marvin, you know that I can't. I'm not allowed to haggle. That goes against my ethics. But," and he kind of the pneumatic wheel on the front pushes him backwards. "If it's for a good cause," he sort of like he reaches into a box, pulls out some scraps of paper, and then with like dips what looks like a railway spike into what looks like a can of oil, and then writes out a new price tag, and then just bang sticks it on whatever it is you've got laid out in front of you, to the tune of 10% discount.
Nice. Does it include what Bailey is picking up? Because I assume everything is on the counter at the moment.
Everything's on the counter, yes. So Bailey, you're oh no, so this is for anything that gets sold. So at the moment Bailey's So he's bought off Bailey, but hasn't sold anything to Bailey. But yeah, Bailey's going to get 10% off anything they want to buy.
That was my question. Yeah. Cool.
So I want to give something a try. We'll see how it goes. So Bailey's just like holds up the plasma mine for a second, kind of makes a big show of looking at it and listening in close, and is like, nah, that's no good. You hear that humming noise, Clancy? Tesla actuator's bust. I tell you that, and percussion cap, it's no good. Look, this is going to take me a bunch of work to get this thing working again. I'll be doing you a favour taking it off your hands cheap.
Clancy, this postbox is just kind of just rotates on the spot, looking from Marvin to Bailey to Marvin to Bailey. And then
Could be a real danger to you keeping it in your store in this condition, I tell you.
Oh my! Please give me a charisma speech as well.
Use all the AP.
all right,
All the AP.
I'll chuck a couple of AP at it.
Which reminds
If
me, with the
everyone's
2
okay with
success,
that.
did anything else go back into the party AP?
It was a difficulty 2.
Never mind.
All right, I'll use 2. Just speech.
Yes, charisma speech.
All right. Hit.
Nice.
3 successes.
Okay, so Clancy kind of looks down, and it seems more interested, more worried, if a postbox can emit emotions such as worry, at the pulse mine, the plasma mine, sorry. And well, I certainly wouldn't want to be in the explosion of a plasma mine. If it's faulty. Clancy rotates to you, Marvin. Is this for a good cause?
A very good cause, my friend.
Aha! I'm sure that if you're willing to take it away, fix it, and then return it in working condition, you can take it away now.
It would be my pleasure to make this safe for you.
Marvelous! And there we are. Civilization, community. So, with that in mind, Marvin, you can get your armor for 18 caps. Clancy's gonna give you a plasma mine because it's 14 doesn't work on the proviso that you bring it back.
I'll cover the armor.
Oh,
okay.
Very kind.
Okay. In which case, that's only going to cost you 10 caps, Bailey, because you're 10 caps in credit.
Lovely.
Cool. Is there anything else the three of you wants to do? It's a long walk upstairs, but I think Mona and Happy have made it by now.
I think Marvin's going to look at Bay and Augusta. If you don't mind, I would like to catch up with my old friend.
Yeah. Of course. Just before we head off, I'm going to need to be able to concentrate really well to fix this thing. Clancy, you got anything to, help out with that? Take the edge off a little bit? Just keep me sharp.
Clancy kind of just 180. Woo, turns to look at a shelf and then rotates back and... it would appear that I've run out of mentats. You could speak to Petunia up on the first floor at Lloyd's Apothecary.
All right, fine. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and good day. So
I'll leave you to catch up then.
Augusta, what are you doing as
Listen, you two, you behave yourselves. I'm going to go and find some food.
Okay.
Enjoy your sustenance.
So, we will switch to Happy. So Happy, we find you. So you kind of you've kind of darted through the crowds. You've made your way to one of the stairways up to the first floor, and it's on the kind of the southern walkways. But yes, as you ascend the stairs, the smell of cooking eggs and sounds of clucking chickens reach you long before you see the restaurant. Straw and birdseed litter the ground around a number of wooden pub benches. A blackboard street sign reads L'œuf magnifique, accompanied by a menu in French. The patrons tuck into their somewhat small but fluffy omelettes. Behind the counter floats a Mr. Handy chef robot that simultaneously cracks and whisks eggs with one arm, flips omelettes in a frying pan with the second, and chops fillings with the third. Upon approach, the Handy speaks in a rather British French accent voice. Bonjour, mes amis. What would you like?
Oh, bonjour, bonjour. How are we today?
Oui, je suis very good.
Ah, bon.
You have a look at so you can see that the menu on the side of this stall, and like it's very busy with the clucking and the bang from the cleaver chopping up like greens, and you assume it's just like grass or moss or something, and just like the hiss of like the frying pan and everything going on. But yeah, this menu sign reads L'omelette 60C.
Lovely. I'll probably at this point, I'm grabbing the dog from jumping up onto everybody's plate to try and get these little tiny fluffy omelettes. So I've got him by the scruff, and I was like, "Oh, where's my dear old Willie Wilson chap?"
So Francois, just kind of the eyes regard you. It kind of bumps, one of the eyes kind of tilt to the side, bumping its chef's hat slightly to the side, and it corrects it with one of the other opticals. And Monsieur Wilson, in the garden, and just kind of with one of the frying pans gestures to like the seating area. As Francois lifts this frying pan up, you notice that this is the arm that's got the flamethrower attachment, but it's angled in such a way that it's aiming at the bottom of the frying pan, and there's as the flamethrower ignites to heat the pan up a bit, and he like flips the omelette and that catches it, and l'œuf magnifique. And as you turn to look into the eating area, you can see a thin, gangly looking man just kind of like sliding down his seat, pulling his t-shirt up over his nose to try and hide his face, whilst also pulling down his kind of flat cap in an attempt to avoid your notice.
Willie! And I'll go over to him, making
Okay.
a big show of the fact also that I have a dog as well.
Okay, sure. So, as you approach Wilson, so
I pull up a chair from a table that isn't being used, and just interrupt them.
So it's on like those kind of 6-person pub benches.
Okay.
So Wilson's managed to kind of get one. Like he's sat on the corner of one. There's a couple on the other ends, and you're able to just plonk yourself directly opposite Wilson. And he looks up to you and,
"Oh, you're right, mate. Yeah. Hi. It's good to see you. Actually. Yeah. Hi. How you doing?
Isn't it just my good friend? How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Happy. I'm good.
I see you're indulging in a bit of a culinary experience.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
got a little bit. I came into some fortune.
Can I have a little bit of that? Oh, I'll grab his fork and just.
Wilson grimaces as you begin tucking into his omelette.
I'll tell you what, Willow. Oh, that's some lovely stuff. Lovely stuff there. I want to have it all though. Thank you for the offer.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind. Is that your dog?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Don't worry. I fed him at least 2 days ago. Don't worry about it, my friend.
Oh,
At least.
I love dogs.
Yeah. Get down. Good boy. He smells all sorts of things. Right here he was. Right here. He's smelling omelettes and other things.
And as you say that, like you can see that Wilson has become visibly anxious in the presence of a dog. And as Mika kind of looks up to you, he lets out a little and two paws on the pub bench, lifts himself up and just gobbles the rest of the omelette, like the half-eaten omelette, whatever you'd left behind. And Wilson,
I hope you don't mind, Willow.
I was done with it, actually.
I'll tell you what, actually, you saying you're coming to some money, that does remind me, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a little dabble, didn't we? Oh yes, I remember now. Oh, Wilson.
Oh, well, here's the thing, Abby. I came into some fortune, and then came out of some fortune when I bought an omelette.
Wilson, that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Can I help you at all in any way, shape or form?
Well, I mean, times is hard, how it is.
Oh, they are. Yes. In fact, I've just been outside of the old palace myself because of that same reason,
And you made it back, eh?
Oh, absolutely. Back and chipper.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, I mean,
how much was it? It was 40 off the top of my head, wasn't it? 40? Give or take another 20, with as it has been nearly a week.
I'd rather call it the 40, actually.
Okay. Well, we'll meet in the middle. We'll call it 50. Don't worry, my friend. Me and you, that's like friends, mates rates. Don't worry. I can see, especially as we'll say. I'll tell you what. We'll call it 49 for this. As my dog had some of your omelette.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so generous.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you what you can do, though, my friend. I'll tell you what you can do. I will knock a good 10 of those cappies off if you can give me some information. I know you are established in this here area.
Sure. Tell you what. Why don't we call it? Why don't we call it? 5 caps per question. I'm happy with that. You can ask multiple questions. It's like a
I see what you're doing, Wilson. That's very clever, my friend. That's very clever. I'll tell you what. I will agree to that.
I've got more blood for my brain now that my stomach's empty.
Absolutely, It makes sense. I'll tell you what. I will agree to that. For me and you have a little dibble and a bit of a gamble on these dice that I have here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You beat me, dice. Fair and square. In fact, we'll go doubles. Double or quits. Call it 10 caps per win. What did you say?
He looks down and you hear his stomach audibly rumble because he only got a mouthful of omelette, and then
yeah, go on then.
Go on then. Let's go. Let's give it a go. I'll tell you what. You take the first one.
At this point, I will simply allow you to spend a luck point. If you so wish.
Yeah.
So as you roll, your sets of dice, you're basically like Yahtzee, I guess. You just roll dice, and I guess the game's who gets higher. And as you spend the luck point, his dice clatter across the plate that the omelette was on, and you kind of look down and notice that it's about to come up like a double 5, but as you throw your dice, one of yours hits his knocking it from a 5 to a 1. And the momentum stops. The momentum of them colliding stops your dice, and as you peer down, you look up with a double 6.
Oh my days! I am so sorry. That was so unlucky. Perhaps next time you can. You'll win next time. I'm pretty sure that was just that never happened again. Anyway. So full price and some information. That is a shame for you, but great for me. I must admit.
Yeah, I feel shame.
I can't. Yeah, I can't help but feel good. I am looking for a bit of information on a Clements, and he probably his voice at that point goes a little bit quieter. Oh, Clements, my friend, what can you do me for?
Clements. Yeah, he's a good man, Clements, isn't he? Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good chap. Yeah. He's
specifically looking for a whereabouts of him right now.
I mean, I'd assume that he was down at the Church of Old England construction site, and I never thought they'd ever get to finish building that. But ever since Clements turned up, they've been storming along, innit? But yeah, I heard that he had a lot of caps, and he was using it to pay for the church.
Church, I say.
Yeah. Maybe you should check out the construction site. It's usually where he is. Yeah. Have you got any other questions? Because maybe we need to roll more dice.
Maybe we do. Maybe you know what? Clements is really all I was after. But you next time, my friend, me and you will square up. Don't worry.
Right.
Oh, in fact, actually, garçon, and I'll call over the.
"We," says this Mr. Handy.
I'll tell you what. I've had a little bit of this man's omelette, and it was sublime. So absolutely sublime. We'll have another. Thank you on this, man.
Why? Oh no!
Like Wilson just you hear and there's a cluck from one of the chicken hens, chicken coops, as an egg just rolls down into the outwaiting hand of Francois the Handy, and he catches it and just cracks the egg into a bowl, starts whisking it with his whisk attachment, and then into the frying pan.
And he's talented for me.
And you could just see Wilson's eyes just flicking from arm to arm as Francois starts making up this omelette. And as are you taking this your opportunity to leave?
Well, I'll take it to go.
Okay. In which case, Wilson just sits there clenching his teeth, just scratching at his cheek and kind of his upper arms, and just kind of fidgeting as his eyes gone a bit bloodshot.
The church, yeah, my friend. That's what you say.
Yeah, Church of Old England.
Oh, you have been mighty kind today, and unlucky on that dice. Next time, my friend. Next time, I believe in you. All in the wrist.
Thanks, Happy. Thanks. Good to see you.
And you, my friend.
Ooh, and then you hear a whimper come from the man as you leave, whistling, and just taking this 60 cap omelette with you.
I give a good portion to the dog.
Okay.
As we leave.
Also, Bielsa should be relieved because that egg has not been washed.
Okay.
Also, I don't want to know what the chickens look like here.
Oh yeah. Have we got any two-headed chickens, Dan?
I think all of them are two-headed minimum. That's chicken hydras.
There's only one chicken. It just is capable of laying hundreds of eggs a day.
It's like a chicken king, like a rat king, but wrong. Okay, so Happy, as you kind of walk away whistling to yourself with a mouthful of very good omelette, actually. Mona, you ascend the stairs to the northern side of the first floor, and in front of you is a simple building that has a sign above it that reads Lloyd's Apothecary, with promotions painted on the walls advertising for chems such as Buff Out or Mentats. Handing a bag to a customer in the wide open entryway is an old grey-haired woman wearing a blue dress and a stained white blouse. When she notices your approach, she crosses her arms over her chest and gives you a slight nod as the satisfied customer steps out of the way. So, you recognize behind the counter is Petunia, who has sold you many chems and meds in the past. But Mona, you specifically stop, eyes open, as the customer that steps out of the way appears to be wearing a coat very, very similar to yours. And your eyes immediately fall to the sigil of Camelot emblazoned on the right arm, identical to yours. And the man turns to you and kind of looks you up and down and, "At ease, soldier," he says. Fancy seeing another one of us here?"
She nods at him and she says, "At ease. I didn't expect to see anyone here either." And she's very hesitant. She doesn't really know what to make of it.
The man nods and, my apologies. Garfield, Squire Garfield. I wasn't expecting to be in Crystal Palace myself, actually, but yes, it's I'm here on the back of bad news, unfortunately. I'm surprised. Where is it you're stationed? I'm surprised you haven't heard.
Here and there. I haven't really been around long enough to be stationed anywhere yet. But what bad news has befallen?
You don't know. One of our local outposts. It was attacked. It was a concerted attack by the Tommies. Just the man struggles for the words for a moment, and it was a bloodbath. We just weren't expecting them. But they've raised the outpost to the ground. So and the squire holds up what appears to be a pouch full of stim packs.
They've been getting bolder.
He nods. I remember the days when the Tommies just kind of let bygones be bygones, but I know those gentry pricks are getting their fingers deeper and deeper into them. I just don't know. I mean, it makes it worse that the Tommies don't even care, that they're just, I don't know, puppets, I guess. But you could, and he kind of looks you up and down. And is there anything about your person that denotes you as a medic?
No, I don't think there would be.
Okay.
Other than out the apothecary, which might give something away. I mean, her leg is still a little bit bandaged, and bandaged well, if that's any giveaway, because she did have a leg injury not so long ago.
Sure. Yes, that's very true. In which case, yeah, Garfield looks down at your bandaged leg, and that looks very neat. Did you do that yourself?
Yes, I did. As it happens, you say they were injured where you come from.
Yeah, there's the ones that we could save. A lot of them have some pretty grievous wounds. Thankfully, the majority of them are gunshot wounds, which we can deal with. But there are some that weren't so lucky, and it's frightening what a shovel in the hands of a Tommy can do to a person.
Yes, they pack quite a wallop when they want to. That's why we shouldn't have let them get anywhere near us in the first place.
The man in front of you kind of takes, so he's got one of these kind of fluffy aviator type hats on with the goggles up, like on his forehead, but he kind of takes the hat off for a second, and kind of ruffles his mouse brown hair, And before putting the hat back on, you know, if you're a medic, we could really do with someone coming to help us. I mean, I don't know who your commanding officer is, but I'm sure that they'd understand if you were to loan yourself out to our outpost. I mean, if nothing else, we don't even know where we're going anymore. The outpost is gone. We're trying to find somewhere safe to head, but we've gone underground as best we can. But the Tommies are just crawling all over the place. We haven't got anywhere to call home anymore.
I'll speak to my commanding officer at once. This is hugely important. She nods and she says, "The Tommies. Do you know? Are they to do with the syndicate at all? Do you think they've made an alliance?"
The squire kind of scrunches his face up a little bit, and no, I just think the Tommies are the Tommies, but they're becoming the military arm of the gentry more and more every day. As if those tossers over in Buckingham needed any more power in the city, but no, the syndicate and the vagabonds are keeping each other busy. But I think this is just, I think the Tommies are getting antsy. The fifth column's starting to make waves as well. Ava is she's a real rabble rouser, that woman, but she's doing a good job. And I think it's just put the Tommies he's put the gentry on the back foot, which means they've unleashed the Tommies on us like hounds.
We'll hole up for the moment, and I'll get you some support. I just need to finish up some business here, but I'll be quick, and I'll get you some help.
The squire kind of nods to you, and then he stands up and kind of like pounds his chest with a closed fist, and for the round table, he says.
The round table, and she does the same.
Yeah, he's kind of stood to attention as you say that, and he just kind of nods. He relaxes and kind of shiftily looks around before making his way back down the stairs that you came up.
Is Petunia there? Would she have overheard any of that? Or?
She's just So this woman, sort of like Indian Asian complexion, just kind of has been tennis matching between the two of you as you've had this conversation in front of her stall, and she kind of raises her eyebrows and, "Are you done?" She says.
"I'm sorry, dear. That was. You don't need to worry about any of that. Are you okay? Are you well? Is business okay?" And Mona's going to have a little look around to see if there's anyone else in the shop.
"I'm absolutely fine, Mona. Yes. Business is good. It looks like you found yourself a new boys' club, so I'm very pleased for you."
"There are girls too, Petunia. You don't need to worry about me."
Petunia, like, deadpan stares you for a while, and then, like, you see a bit of a smirk kick into the corner of her lips. What is it you're here for, dear?
"Well, I think you've probably just been cleared out of stim packs by the looks of it."
She shrugs, and we've always got stim packs. What do you take me for?
Good to know. Good to know. It was two things actually. I don't think you'll be too surprised by either of it, really. I wondered if you'd heard of anyone actually. There's someone I've come across, and I thought maybe in your line of business you might have come across him as well.
Go on.
His name's Dr. Rast.
Give me a charisma speech check.
Okie dokie. Charisma speech. I won't use any AP.
Actually, Bailey got 3 successes, so there is 2 AP in the pool. Beg my pardon.
Okay, well I got 1 success if that's enough.
1 success. Petunia, like, frowns a bit as she kind of stares up, and no, doesn't ring a bell, actually. Why, is he a potential suitor for you?
Oh no! Oh God, no! No! She
Well,
looks absolutely
I'm just
disgusted
saying,
at the
Moni,
thought.
that you're cracking on a bit, you know?
Well, age doesn't mean as much as it used to anymore, does it, Petunia?
Don't I know it? She says, with rolling her eyes slightly.
Awkward. Fair enough. Well, that's all right. I suppose the other thing was whether or not those troublemakers had been giving you any more issues. You know, the ones that came in and grabbed a whole load of stuff off the shelves and then ran out again. Did you ever catch up to them?
Oh, the vagabonds. Oh, they're children with guns. That's all they are. They just they'll pack it in as soon as someone hacks one of them apart with a machete or something. I don't worry about it too much. It just
I know, but you insisted that you didn't want it to be me who did the macheteing.
I mean, look, anyone who's sizing up to the syndicate is going to find themselves on the wrong end of a pipe gun every now and again. So
Or a machete.
Or a machete. I mean, that Sebastian, he knows how to make a statement. I don't think it'll be a problem. The syndicate's been around for donkey's years, darling. So I don't these vagabond startups. Nah.
Yeah, but when with Sebastian, we knew what we were getting. But you know, these runts, they run around, they cause trouble. Sebastian makes them more trouble, and eventually they get torn apart. But I just thought maybe is someone else doing things? Someone other than Sebastian? Have they got something else going on? You know, downstairs.
Petunia kind of studies you for a while, like looks left and right to see if like anyone's in earshot. What with the gentry and the Tommies and this fifth column, and she kind of looks you up and down, and, like tuts to herself, Camelot, and she says with a little head wobble. Everyone's just fighting over scraps, but while they're fighting, I've heard there's something else, something more sinister, something more underground. And no one seems to care about them, and I think that's what makes them scary, you know. And
Yes.
they are underground. They are deep underground, and I know I've heard some people talking about them, and they call themselves Angel.
Angel.
Hmm.
Nothing ever good comes out of something called Angel.
She studies you. Like, what do you like? Have you heard of Angel before?
Mona hasn't. No.
Okay. And what's her initial reaction to this underground secret organization?
Mona was hoping that something like this would come up because she was convinced that Sebastian and the boys running around causing trouble for Petunia, etc., that she's heard about before. She knows they're a constant in the city, but there's something different about it at the moment, and she was hoping that something would come out of it.
Petunia kind of beckons you forward, and you know, they say that you have to be careful because Angel's agents and eyes are everywhere, and they're watching us, they're listening to us, they're controlling what we do. What's Mona's facial expression doing?
She leans in very closely and she says, "No, Petunia, they're not." And she looked Petunia dead in the eyes.
Petunia holds your stare for a while, and then that smirk returns to her mouth, and she starts laughing. And she kind of leans back, and of course, it's clearly all a myth for gullible little sods like you.
Yes, it is, Petunia. I'm glad that you say
Boogie
so.
men in the subway, in the underground. Ooh.
They
No,
are.
I thought you'd grown up from these children's stories. I swear.
Never for you, Petunia. You know that. It's too much of this shopkeeping you're doing. You're becoming a bit too normal for my liking sometimes.
I've got to keep myself entertained somehow, haven't I? Are you buying anything, or are you asking after anyone else?
Well, if you've got a good deal on a tiny bit of jet, I have a friend who could do with a little bit of a boost.
She looks over her shoulder. Jet, you say?
Yes, and don't worry, it's not for me, and you can believe me on that.
Don't worry, I won't tell your father. It's fine.
It's not for me, Petunia. You know it wouldn't be.
Don't worry, I won't tell your mother either.
That's fine.
She looks through her inventory. It's a very big inventory. It's a very, very long inventory.
For what it's worth,
Yes.
Happy being on the same floor.
Yes.
If this is time-wise would fit in, he would go there next because I think I'm still suffering from a bit of radiation, as they call it.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
I wouldn't mind going in as well to look for some stuff.
As the kids
whenever.
call it.
Yeah, right. They call it rad, actually. But
Okay. In which case, as Petunia puts down a vial of jet with a 50 cap price tag on it.
Ooh, that's a bit steep.
Lucky, you approach.
Happy.
Happy. Big one.
Go Lucky.
You approach, and Petunia looks up to you. And, "Oh, hello, darling," she says.
Oh, Petunia, you're looking as gorgeous as ever. Oh, hello, Mona.
Mona quickly takes a step away from the counter and just sort of grabs something on the shelf as though the jet on the counter was nothing to do with.
Oh, what are you after there, Mona? I didn't realise you'd come here.
We separated across the street from each other. You saw me come in, but
okay. Yes, I was preoccupied. But yeah. Oh, what are we getting then? I've got a bit of the old rad down my old left arm here. It's giving me a bit of jip. I will not lie. Can you do anything for me? Maybe throw in something for Mona dear over here.
So Petunia looks to you and she sort of like leans forward and like pulls at one of your bottom eyelids and like gets you to stick your tongue out.
I wouldn't get too close, dear.
I've got my rubber gloves on. It's fine.
And
double gloves.
Excellent. Get some for Mona, and we've got a lovely time.
She puts down a vial next to the vial of jet, and this one says in like faded lettering, "Rad away," and that has an 80 cap price tag on it.
Oh, lovely! And he goes straight to his pocket and lovely. Oh yes. I've got a big old pouch here I found on the old thing. Should we make it two? Just in case. And I know I've got 69 caps and also a miscellaneous pouch of bottle caps, but I don't know how much is in that pouch of bottle caps. So I'll chuck that in as well, and I'll put it all in. And
okay.
Obviously,
so you're
darling.
You're buying two Radaways and the jet.
Yeah, and I'll lean in. I got obviously this is quite a big thing, and I can afford it, but I'm coming back later on, and you always make me sweet.
Petunia crosses her arms as you start like jangling this bag of caps, like this big bag of caps, and she crosses her arms.
Oh goodness, sorry, nearly, sorry.
Who just steal those off of, Happy?
What do you mean, me stealing? Here I am, making a good old living with this Mona. I even come back here with her. I was looking after her. I was blimey stealing. Petunia, me. Look, I got to look after a dog here. I can't have rat all over me.
Do they know where you are?
Well, I presume most people know where I am. I'm quite loud, you know.
Do the previous owners of those bottle caps know where you are?
Previous owner, blimey. What about? I'll tell you what. Just me and you, right? We know there's trust. I don't ask you where you get your rat away. You don't ask me where the caps come from. We make a bit of a living. Here we go, back and forth. Me and you, I love it.
She looks at from you, like she looks you in the eye, Happy, down to the bag of caps in your hands, to Mona, and then back, and then she rolls her eyes, lets out a little sigh, and then just puts down a second rat away, slides the 3 vials across, and then just takes your bag of caps, counts them out. You're 20 caps short.
Oh well, mate.
And she holds out her hands to
Petunia.
So at the moment, she's only got the bag of caps that you found from the warehouse. You've still got your 69 caps.
Petunia, I'll tell you what, I will give you the 20 because I know you are an honest girl. But what can you throw in for a bit of something nice? Come on.
She looks to you and
come on, mate. You want some returning customers? Come on. You want me to return here? Maybe spread the word. Come on, Petunia, for old friends.
I mean,
am I right, Mona?
I would rather.
I'll give Mona a nudge.
I would rather if my returning customers were a bit more frequent than you are, Happy. There's this one girl. She's buying Mentats twice a week.
Mentats twice a week, and you're accusing me of stealing? Blimey!
But she seems like she's trying to do something good in the world. Happy.
Well, you tell me where she is, and I'll maybe we'll do something good together.
I haven't seen her for a while, but if you ever bump into a woman called Mika, then let her know that it's been a while, and I've got some Mentats waiting for her.
Oh, all right, yeah, I'll certainly will. Now about those returning customers.
She looks to you and, well, I won't say any more.
You'll look at Mona at that moment.
Yeah, Mona's gonna step forward and say, "Calm down, Happy. It's fine. Did you say you've got the 20, or do you want me to chip in?"
And
while Happy's looking down or muttering or doing whatever he's doing, Mika's going to say, Mona's going to say, did you say your Mika comes in regularly? Petunia, you haven't mentioned seeing her before?
Moves his head up as well. the mention of Mika. Down.
Yeah, Petunia. Yeah, sweet little girl, Mika. Do you know her?
I knew of her, I'm afraid, Petunia, yes. I'm sorry, but your returning customer, she's met with some ill fortune. She's not going to be needing any more Mentats, I'm afraid.
Petunia kind of raises her eyebrows and puffs her cheeks out, and that's a shame. She was a good one, she was.
She seems so. I didn't know her very well, but that was why I was asking about Dr. Rast, actually. They knew each other. I didn't even think that you might know Mika, but she worked with Dr. Rast.
Hey, maybe we could pick up where this lovely Mika left off. Saying about giving away some of these things. Maybe we could, Mentats. Maybe we could help.
I doubt that she paid in advance. Did she, Junior?
No. She was very prompt and precise with her payment. Happy.
Hey, You're the one dangling my pouch of coins of caps.
She like Petunia, like she huffs at you, and well, it's a shame about Mika, but can't say I've ever heard of this Rast. No.
Fair enough. No, that's fine. I mean,
she was quite private about what it was she was doing, but.
But you said you thought she was doing good. I mean, we don't know much about her either, so it's good to know that she was doing something good. But did she say what?
She kept on saying that she was just trying to figure out ways of kind of making things better for people. You know, drink water and food and crops and just stuff that isn't irradiated.
Yeah, well, that's definitely good.
But
when was she next due in? You said you hadn't seen her in a little while.
Well, it's been a few days, actually. She was due to come in at the start of the week.
Did she come in alone last time you saw her, or with anyone?
She usually did, yeah. I mean, I assume she's got somewhere in the city, somewhere in Crystal Palace that she calls a home, because she came by relatively frequently, but I don't know. I never asked where her address was, because that would be weird.
No, fair enough.
Any chance she mentioned Clements in passing?
I don't. I've never met Clements.
Yeah.
But I've heard the name, not from Mika, but I have heard the name. A couple of the construction workers. I've overheard
down by the church.
Yeah, downstairs.
Mona just looks at Happy. Gone out.
Lovely. Well, thank you for your help. I'll just take those radaways down.
She
and the jet.
Oh yeah, of course.
She holds out her hand expectantly for the 20 caps.
Oh, Petunia, you're killing me.
Mona puts the 20 caps down.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you,
well,
Petunia.
I'll reimburse you, Mona.
Come on, Happy.
Another satisfied customer, says Petunia. She slides your 20 caps into the pouch that Lucky's cap pouch.
Oh, always satisfied with you, Petunia.
Until next time, Happy. Okay. So as the two of you kind of move away from the apothecary, Lloyd's apothecary, is there anything else the two of you are doing, or where are you thinking of heading next?
Back to the group, I guess.
Yeah. Could Mona immediately say, as soon as they get out the shop, what do you know about the church? You knew.
This is my gaff. This is my place. I know all about things. I have some contacts as well.
Well, yes, but as soon as she said Clements, you said the church. You didn't know that Clements was the church before.
When you got a noggin like this, when you put in 2 and 2, Mika, Clements, a construction site, or the church had to be.
Mona just looks at him and says, "Okay, what do you know about the church then?" And they're walking back towards the group as.
Sure. In which case, like, by the time you've had this conversation, you're heading back to the fountain.
While we're doing this as well, can I be? I apologies. I don't know how. Plying the radaway.
Yes.
Just
a bit
lodging it out.
eye. Yeah.
You can see, like, jam this thing into your neck. It heals 4 radiation.
Okay, well, I have 3, so
it clears that out, and you go back up
the
to
eye
4.
belt wasn't necessary.
That was just the last bits of drops. I was like,
so as the two of you make your way back to the fountain, Augusta, Bailey, and Marvin, are you sort of whereabouts have you been?
Augusta would have been getting some food.
Food, yes.
Nothing of major sustenance, but something to tide over.
Sure. You
Something with a
are
good, strong umami flavor, one might say.
Whoa. Whoa.
There you go.
How about
Oh, I used up my toad on a stick. What a shame.
how about a little bit of some food, yeah? You for the pricely sum of 4 caps, you're able to purchase some pigeon bits.
I mean, what else is there in London?
I mean, it's pigeon bits, mongrel dog meat, or some Salisbury steak, all the way from Salisbury.
I'll have the pigeon bits. I think that sounds
Pigeon
good
bits.
to me. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So, Augusta, you're sat on sort of like a stall overlooking the fountain courtyard. Bailey?
I will have attempted to seek out a clothing store of some sort to obtain 3 items.
Yes.
Number 1, sunglasses of any size or condition.
Yes.
Number 2, a scarf or tie, ideally in red.
Scarf or tie, ideally in red. Okay.
Number 3, literally any format of belt.
Okay.
A rope.
You can find all of those for the costly sum of, let's say, 6 caps.
Well, it's pricey, but it's worth it. All right, sweet.
Okay. So that kind of clothing bazaar would be near the fountain as well. So in which case, as Happy and Mona kind of arrive back at the fountain, and the 4 flesh bags reconvene. You watch as Marvin begins approaching, and Marvin's had a bit of a glow up, and the armored plating on the torso is now significantly kind of bulkier. You notice that, like, when Marvin's thruster turns down to kind of keep him at a relatively level, even level, he drops to the ground slightly harder and faster than before. Before the booster kicks in to bring it back up, so it's like it bobs more violently. Just the sheer weight of this armor. But as you approach and kind of look to each other to see what it is you've learnt, let's grab a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Nice.
Right,
Good
see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Ah!
Is your skin feeling a little dry and flaky? Has your summer tan turned a bit green? No need to fear, for we have the solution. From the company that brought you Runaway comes Ghoul Be Gone. This medicinal skin cream contains our latest developments in moisturizing, concealing, and anti-radiation formulas and serums. Apply 3 times a day and your skin will be looking rosy and healthy in no time. For a limited time only, subscribe to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel below to receive a free trial pack. Yes, that's right. Don't delay, subscribe today and look forward to the new old you.
Ghoul Be Gone is not a licensed medicinal product. Ghoul Be Gone is not responsible for any permanent or semi-permanent damage to skin, nerve endings, or sense of smell. Ghoul Be Gone is not responsible for side effects such as hair loss, teeth loss, loss of bladder control, or ghoulification. Ghoul Be Gone should be kept out of reach of children, pregnant women, and animals. For full terms and conditions, please speak to your local pharmacy.
Welcome back. Hi.
Hey.
So,
Hello.
yes, welcome. We have been having a little rummage around the citizenry of Crystal Palace, and we return to find the 5 of you having reconvened around the token central fountain on the ground floor of Crystal Palace, and amongst your number is a Mr. Handy Droid that has had a bit of an upgrade, and looking very swish, if I do say so myself.
I think Marvin actually does There's a couple of circles around the group, like almost preening, just trying to get someone to comment on it.
I say, look at the bloody bling on that. Get down with your bad self, Marvin.
Why, thank you, Augusta. I do believe I look, what is the word for it? Very cool.
What's happened? You change your hair or something?
You see for a second that the flamethrower arm just goes like, But then-
I'm joking. You look glorious, my friend.
Okay, so Marvin's character sheet has been updated. You've now got 3 armor on your torso. But yes, the Augusta. Let's go with Bailey. What is it? So you found. You've also had a bit of a glow up. You turn up with a big pair of sunglasses, and they are like big, bottom of cheeks to above eyebrow, like novelty sunglasses. Because the metal ones would have broken, right? So they've only got like the kids' plastic ones.
This is everything I've ever wanted.
You've also got in one hand a red tie and in the other a belt. So I assume you grab all of Happy's attention. As you do.
Bailey.
Potentially.
Some belts, some new belts, some tie. You should have said you didn't go and buy that, did you?
What? Nah. What kind of mug
You
buys
should have
belts?
said. And he pulls out this. I've got one right here. Blimey. A belt. I got that.
Well.
Don't worry.
Tom, can I just say that was smooth as fuck.
That was amazing.
Well done.
Don't encourage him.
My sunglasses are not as good as yours, but fair play. Oh, you look dapper. We're all looking quite dapper.
Also, Bailey's hat has conspicuously grown and is faintly humming, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Marvelous.
Mr. Marvin, you helped me out with my style once. Thought I would with you as well.
And as Marvin floats past, kind of showing off the new armor, I'll like lasso around with the red tie, pop a little knot in the front, and be like,
"Goes with your eyes. Thought it'd suit ya."
Marvin genuinely has a moment of, this might be the first time I feel genuine kinship with an organic being. And in his database, Bailey has been upgraded.
hell yeah. I'm gonna be like one of the last ones killed. And then I will just while I'm doing that, I'm loosely holding the belt out behind me, and I'm like,
I sure hope no one were to take this belt from me that is so poorly guarded. Oh my goodness.
Happy thinks about it for a second.
I'll give you a little wink.
So we'll go.
No, Happy just looks confused.
At which point
Go,
I assume
lads.
the dog takes it.
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
So as this belt kind of gets handed out, well, I say handed out in the loosest way possible. Mona and Happy, you obviously the thing you were talking about as you were coming down the stairwell was the construction site. And Mona, as everyone's as kind of Bailey's seemingly handing out clothes, you can hear the sound of like crashing and banging coming from an area just down towards the east entrance of Crystal Palace on the ground floor. And kind of peering around and sort of standing on your tiptoes to see over the crowds, you can see what appears, or you can see what appears to be a construction site.
Yeah, just before we caught a glance at the others, and we won't go back to it because it's not important, but Mona was about to say to Happy, considering how surprised she was that he knew about the construction site, etc. She literally began to say, "Have you ever heard of as in Angel?" To say that to him, and got cut off by seeing the others. And now, ever since that whole conversation has been going on with everyone, she's been looking out for any kind of pictures or iconography around the place that might be linked to Angel in some form, because she doesn't know whether that's a person or a figure or a symbol or anything yet at this stage. And she was a little bit concerned by Petunia's slight change of persona. She doesn't really know what to make of it, but
yeah, I mean, what you know of Petunia is that, I mean, she is a very blunt and intelligent woman. So she would the things that she said to you are most likely things that she's heard other people say, but her inevitable reaction to it, like, oh, it's just like absolute codswallop. That's what she thinks of it. Like, she tuts and rolls her eyes at the concept of secret boogeymen.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fine. But Mona wouldn't really have been that engaged with the camaraderie side of what went on. So yeah.
So
she probably would be looking at as quickly as possible to get them to turn their attention in the direction of the construction site.
Yeah. And sort of like looking around to see if you can see any kind of signs or symbols. Tell you what, give me a give me a perception. What would it be?
While everyone's looking, Happy indeed takes him up on the grabbing the belt.
Tell you what, you're trying to look discreetly.
It was almost too easy.
Mona's looking discreetly, right? So make it a sneak perception.
Ooh.
All right. Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. Let me just. What's sneak in? Agility. Oh, blimey. This isn't going to go very well.
Sure. So 10 and a 13.
Yes.
Like, you kind of look around, and there's just this mishmash of between like the flashing signs and the hanging lights and the people and the noise and the clutter. Nothing jumps out to you as like it's hard enough kind of picking out shop signs, let alone hidden signs, like hidden light icons or whatnot.
Yeah, I think in the failure to spot anything useful, she probably just gets a little bit annoyed with herself, and she says, "Bailey, did you find out anything about Clements when you were in the shop? What did they tell you?"
They
In the clothes shop.
Oh, did I find anything about? So
you did remember to ask, didn't you?
Probably what I would have done is see if I can see any like ghouls, probably in some sort of, I don't know, service, like unskilled labor positions, like any of them sweeping the streets or homeless or anything like that.
Yes. So there's the boutique owner, the clothing emporium owner, was in fact a ghoul. And if you feel free to give me a charisma speech if you want to strike up conversation with the shopkeeper.
Yeah, that'd be grand.
Slightly easier because you have common ghoulness.
Just standard speech, yeah?
Charisma speech, yeah.
Nope.
Do you want to spend a luck dice?
You're going to go around everyone in the group, giving them a chance to see this vital piece of information that you're trying to give us.
Oh, I don't have many luck left. What if I explode or something?
I mean, you've got a mine in your hat, so I mean that's
Yeah, but I
best
wouldn't
case
worry about
scenario,
that.
right?
Nah, I don't think I can spare it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. In which case, yeah, if you asked about Clements,
I probably, to be honest, got too excited about the sunglasses and just forgot.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't know anything about. Never heard of him.
Oh, that's a shame. Augusta, did you find out anything useful?
What would I have found out at the food stand, Dan? What kind of thing? Are they generally good places for, when you're picking up your pigeon bits? Is there some good rumor going around the pigeon bit stands?
That could be a very good a food place like that sells pigeon bits could be a very good place to find. Please roll me a charisma speech check.
Oh, do you know what? I haven't rolled anything and I've forgotten how to do it, but let's have a look. So charisma speech under here we go.
Yeah, if you click speech,
Judging on your combat abilities, session 1.
And you
well,
can
let's remember what I'm doing this for, shall we?
Yes, you click on speech. That will roll it through. However, you can spend an AP to roll an extra
That's
D20.
right. Would you like me to roll an extra D20? I think it's probably necessary.
I think someone has to, otherwise we're never going to leave this fountain.
There we go. A 3. 3 I'll put it up to, Dan, yeah?
Okay.
Roll. Well, there you go.
Oh.
Does Augusta want to spend any luck points?
Go on, roll. Do a luck point. Why
not? Okay, so is it 1 per luck or?
It is 1 per luck.
It's one per luck.
Yes. So I've got 4 luck points, so I'll just use 3 out of the 4. Why not? This is how much you mean to me.
Oh, that's bold.
Yeah. This is going to be terrible. So 3 speech again, yeah, Dan?
Correct.
Whew. 1 success.
1 success. We got there.
And now
it was a difficulty 3 test originally, but Dan's reduced it by 1 every time we failed.
Okay, so you so you spoke to Frank, his name was. He was a relatively gentle, friendly old man. Clearly had been cooking pigeon bits for a significant part of his life. Everyone seemed to know Frank, and Frank seemed to know everyone.
So, Frank, you have a few of your thumbs in a few sticky little pigeon pies. Listen, have you ever heard of this Clements?
Clements. Oh yes, he's the old scavenger that came in relatively recently, isn't he? Yeah, yes. Oh, he's a good chap. He's a big strong chap. Yes.
What makes him good chap exactly?
Well, I mean, he's one of the friendly sorts, and he's been volunteering down at the chapel, down at the church. The building down in the Eastern Causeway, and yeah, he's just I've heard that he was because they've been building that for bloody ages, haven't they? And along comes Clements and basically funds it himself and gets the whole project up off the ground, and now they're steaming ahead. Yeah, he gave me a high five once. Really bloody hurt. Yeah.
Deep pockets. I think I know just the gentleman to meet this Clements. I say, do you need a tie at all?
He looks around and well, I never turned down a good tie. Oh, of course.
Of course. See what we can do for you. No, leave that with me.
Wonderful.
And so I will relay this information across to Mona, and also make sure that Happy is aware there's a good amount of tie business to be done over with the pigeon bits vendor.
As if he didn't know.
I will note that down.
Okay, so armed with the information that you're armed with, what do you do?
I think we should head to that chapel.
Hang on, Augusti. Did the was it Franz or whatever his name was at the pigeon bit?
Frank, yes.
Yes, he said he was a strong chap. Clements. That's more
Yes, big.
information than we've ever found out about him. We should be wary.
Big and very generous. Lots of money, I understand.
That bit I'm not too concerned with. Strong.
Wow.
Don't speak for yourself.
Yes, well, listen, we've got something big and shiny here in Marvin. You know?
I
And,
am not for sale.
Listen, is there something ticking over there as well? That sounds...
It's more of a hum.
A hum? A hum, yes.
Static, yeah.
It's a- well,
Oh,
listen,
yeah. Mona, you know a thing or two about energy, right?
A thing or two, yes.
Yeah. Check out my new hat. And I'll whip it off and be like, I haven't seen anyone strong enough to deal with one of these, I tell ya.
Just slowly, Bailey, just stand still.
It's the
Augusta?
greatest deterrent to being patted on the head ever.
Mona just takes a step back and says, "Not really my expertise." Augusta,
get
is
the bloody
that...
dog away! Right, come. Is that
Sorry,
live?
sorry. Come back here. Come here.
Is that live?
Oh, don't worry, I've turned it off. And I'll just go click, 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 and burn it. It's alright.
Mona takes 3 steps back.
I think we've quite got the ordnance covered. Again, no matter how big, somebody with a good frisbee throw should be able to deal with that. Oh, goodness me. Yes, big is big, you know, but don't worry. Listen, it's fine. It's fine.
Bailey,
God.
you've heard of a full toss, right? Cricket.
Ah,
Oh.
I don't know if
you
that's
are-
going to work on this.
If you are
It's
going
got to be
to
worth
be,
a shot.
if we need to bring Clements down a peg or two, maybe the full toss might be a better idea with that.
It'd be mini pegs. It's a plasma mine.
Come on now, Mona's a serious gal.
Okay.
Like.
It's a foolproof plan. Nothing can go wrong.
Absolutely nothing. No. So
Quite
with this,
impressed we've gone from church to blow him up in that many sentences. Very
Well,
good.
rather,
Team.
I mean,
rather him than us.
that is a
You
full
never know
outlay.
when you got to blow
Yeah.
up a man.
Hey,
Go on,
I'm
Tilda.
not- am I arguing? Not at all. I'm just impressed.
yeah. Also, you know, we can potentially blow him up in the church, so it's not that far away from the original source.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I guess it's always an option.
it's funny you should mention this church because this structure near the entrance to the city is an unfinished mess of metal beams, an assortment of different scrap panels and equipment. The unfinished metal ceiling lies in the space before the structure. Painted into its center is an image of a crucifix at the center of a radiation warning circle and the words Church of Old England. There are a number of construction workers on site. A sign hanging from the empty door frame reads, Black Brahmin tonight. First round's on me. Clements.
Well, it's not actually as hard to find as we thought then.
A couple of the construction workers who are they're not doing any building, they're just kind of tidying away because it's kind of nighttime. But as they notice the 5 of you kind of loitering near the entrance, and one of them looks up to you and, "Can I help?"
I'll take care of this, chaps.
Oh no.
And he walks up.
Oh, are you not happy? How are you doing?
Hello, and go over and give him a bit of a hug. I saw Jenny the other day looking dapper.
Yeah. No, we called it a day actually.
Yeah, I'm lying. She looked terrible, mate. She genuinely looked like she was crying. I think you could do way better.
Yeah. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, means a lot. Means a lot. How can I help you?
Oh, we're actually just looking for a certain fellow, the Clements here, that's around these parts.
Oh, the boss. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got a bit of information for him, and we just need to pass it on. We've been out at the old palace. Come back. Just need to see him. Is that all right, brother?
The three construction workers kind of looked at each other, and I mean, they'll be fine. Like, he'd be happy to talk to you. But
Yeah. I thought so.
He ain't here.
Where is he?
Well, I mean, he was at the Black Brahmin. Says the construction worker, like flicking his thumb towards the sign.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I wouldn't go down that end of town right now. There's been a bit of an altercation, you know. Someone just Jenny, you know Jenny. Jenny from upstairs. Yeah. She got a bit stabby. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Classic Jenny, that is. Blimey.
Yeah.
Turns out, if I had a cap for every time she stabs someone, blimey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this time it was Lisa, like Lisa Yorks.
Oh, blimey.
You'd never think that they would have bad blood between each other, but they did. And now that bad blood's all over the floor, it would seem. Oh, that's grim. Don't laugh at that, please.
No, of course.
Yeah, it turns out that Lisa's recently joined the Vagabonds. Well, for want of a better word, Vagabonds. Yeah.
Classic, yeah.
And it turns out that Jenny's actually been part of the syndicate for quite a while. And well, when Lisa knocked back a few too many, you know, and accidentally blurted that out, and well, Jenny overheard, and you know, push came to shove, and knife came to gut. So that's the end of Jenny.
Probably don't help they're both on John.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, we can go in there and have a little look around as well.
Oh yeah, you was asking about Clements. Yeah, so it turns out that Clements was actually there when it happened, and he tried to break him up, right? Because he knows Lisa, and he's gotten to know Lisa, he's gotten to know Jenny, and you know he's good to both of them, you know, because he's a good lad, and you know, Jenny wasn't too pleased with that, so she clobbered him with a chair and broke his nose. So he left. We don't know where he's gone. He's somewhere in town, but couldn't tell you where he is now.
Well, that's a bit of a predicament for us because we're kind of in a hurry to get him.
Well, I mean, you know, if you're about in the morning, he'll be back here. If you've got somewhere to stay for the night.
We wait here for him?
Well, I mean, you can. It's not very comfy on a construction yard floor, though.
Well, maybe we'll have a... Well, I know. Hey, you know I make the best of anything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you got somewhere to stay, hey, what's up? Well, you know, you got your gaff, ain't you? But like, if you got somewhere to stay, then yeah, I recommend putting your head down. You'll be back. I mean, Clements, he's a big lad, isn't he? He's a good lad. He's a big lad. He'll be all right in the morning. He'll be back in the morning. So yeah, you can just come see him in the morning. How's that sound?
Yeah,
I'll let him know you're coming.
Absolutely, wonderful job. See you later.
As an aside, Happy.
Yes.
Are they those four? Those four over there, are they with you?
Oh, yeah. No, come on. Yeah. Come over here. Marvin, over here. One of the most beautiful machineries you've ever seen.
Hello.
Greetings.
Marvin is also looking for an audience with Clements.
All right. Well, it might be a bit more boring for you, I'm afraid, my good friend, my good Mr. Handy, because as far as I understand it, you don't particularly sleep. But yeah, no, actually, I mean, I know you're trustworthy, Happy, and you, and he kind of pats.
They are all my friends.
He pats your cast iron shell.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, Marvin goes a bit up and like, yes, I am very trustworthy. I have a tie.
You do. I've never seen a Mr. Handy with a tie. Surprisingly, I don't see more Mr. Handys with ties. We should
I've
just
nicked
all understand the
It's a
entire.
sign of respectfulness.
Yes.
Respectableness? There is a word for it. I don't know. Respectability. There we go.
This construction worker leans in and that brunette over there.
Yeah.
She with you, yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah, me. Yeah.
What's her deal?
Oh, she's all right.
Yeah. She got a fella?
Well,
Because I'm in the market now, you see.
I don't like to brag.
Oh. No, good one. Good one.
Yeah.
What about the frowny one?
Available.
Oh. I'll see how things go first.
You want me to put in a good word?
Keep it in the back of your mind, yeah?
I'll tell you what. I'll put in a good word with both of them for a pretty penny.
Yeah, payday isn't for a while, actually, Happy. So
Right.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll have a word with Clements in the morning.
Back at the Brayman, you say?
Well, he was there, but he ain't now because Jenny broke his nose with a chair.
Oh, right, cool. So he's getting that fixed up, is he?
Don't know where though. He just vanished into the night like a spectre.
Just vanished. Right. It didn't come around here and vanish.
No, I mean he's got a good work ethic, but also got a broken nose, and I think that's a priority in this instance.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much for your help.
That's all right, mate. You have a good one.
While they are talking, can Marvin just like float around, as stealthily as a robot can, and just survey the area, see if there's anything like suspicious going on, or anything of interest?
Sure.
I would also like to pickpocket the guy as I go in for a hug to say goodbye.
Oh,
You're gonna get a whole construction yard against us.
This is what happens when
Insert
we find
extra
you happy. It's
combat?
a risky run.
Okay, so what is Marvin looking? Is there anything in particular Marvin's looking for?
That reminds me. Staff, did Mona share anything about the whole angel situation, etc.?
No.
Not
No.
yet. So I
No,
wouldn't know
definitely not the angel thing.
that. I suppose anything out of the ordinary for a church, as far as I know. Anything that looks like it might be like a weapons cache or something.
Sure. Give me a. This is a weird one. A perception. I'm gonna say science. Ooh. Simply because you're.
Okay.
It's the closest thing to a religion check.
Okay, yeah, I take it.
Oh, that's a very broad statement.
That's it. I mean, look, it's now explosive.
Let's see.
Religion.
Oh, one success.
It might be explosive in a bit.
So, you have a glance around, and what is it? You're looking for things that don't
belong in a church. That's just stand out.
So, funnily enough, as you look around, you're relatively confident that everything is kind of how it seems like it should be. Like the place isn't built; it's still very much a work in progress. But from the metal beams and the sheet plates that are going to go up, you can see there are some like bits of wood that you presume are going to become pews, and like they've already on the big bit of metal that you assume is going to become the door. You can see this symbol of the Church of Old England. I say the crucifix in a radioactive hazard circle. I mean, this is a Church of Old England.
Okay. With one success, would I be able to also see any like structural problems?
Give me another perception repair check. I can do this one.
I like the science better. Okay. Still one success.
It is, to be fair, as structurally sound as a building made of scrap metal can be.
So I would know if push comes to shove, I would know where to strike to bring the building down on top of everyone.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, wow.
oddly
Noted.
terrifying.
I
That's a
mean,
push and a shove.
it's it would be you have a look at it and you think like it's sturdy because this, all of the structures, all of the shacks are kind of utilize like the big girder columns that make up the skeleton of Crystal Palace. It'd be sturdy, but I mean, high yield explosive would do it for sure.
Noted.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool. And as you lean in to give a hug to this construction worker, Happy, please give me a agility. I guess it'd be sneak.
Sneak. So this is a skill test, right?
Yes.
So I would like to use my daring nature to. I'll use the AP. So I'll buy one or more D20s with the AP, and I can re-roll
one
a D20 for free. But yes, so sneak.
Yes.
Love
Sneak
that.
agility.
Sneak with 3. One, and I'll re-roll the 18. Oh, okay. But still 2.
That's fine. So you bounce back up to 2 AP for the party, and in his pocket you pull out 4 caps.
4 caps, lovely. I would like to as well take 2 of those caps. So I'll add 2. But I would like to give 2 of them back to him as a bit of a bribe to see if there's anything sneaky going on around here. I've heard some rumours. I would like to see, and I would like to lie to give a rumour that I've heard and see if it's around. Say there's some underground going, so I reckon it's from here. You're around here, Is that true? And I'd like to bribe him with his money.
Okay. He takes his 2 caps off him and looks at him like, "Hey, more caps for me."
I'm feeling generous.
So,
yeah. So, in my lie, I've read loads of rules. Could I make a charisma speech check to convince him of my lie that there is something going on, and
yes,
and as a way of getting him to think. So charisma speech.
Yes, you can. Yes.
And this is a skill check, right?
Yes.
So I would like to buy one.
He's dangerous when he reads rules.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So you spend a party AP.
So as a scoundrel, I ignore the first complication.
Yes.
Of course he does.
Yes. But I will re-roll it, I guess, anyway to.
Yeah.
See if I can get a thing because I re-roll for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, you gain the group 4, 2 AP to take you up to 4 off the back of 3 successes.
I've heard there are some sneaky goings on down below, and you're one of these construction you're working here. I've actually heard they are from here. Now you take these 2 caps. Can you confirm or deny this? It's on a need-to-know basis.
He takes the 2 caps and he looks at you and he's concerned. And like the face says, "Really? Where'd you hear that?"
Oh, down the old boat. Next to Bits and Bobs.
And
people walk by. People do murmuring. So you know me. I'm here, there, and everywhere. I heard there was a bit of goings on. Maybe if there is as well, could be quite dangerous.
He looks over his shoulder at the 2 other construction workers that are like chattering to themselves as they kind of tidy up the area, construction area, and like it's clear that he's looking at them in a suspicious, like he suspects them of something. But then, like when he turns back to you, the fear in his eyes, like you wonder, like it's clear that this is news to him, and it's clear he's bought into it wholeheartedly, wholesale.
Of course he is.
And he just kind of looks for you to the other construction yard, and you see, and like his eyes are flicking back. He looks down to the ground. You can see his eyes kind of flicking from side to side as he's thinking about who it could be.
And he gets, look, here's another bottle cap, all right? And it's obviously his one. Go and buy yourself another drink tonight when you get off work. Calm down. Don't worry. We got this in hand. I've got a metal flamethrower, dude, thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But, hey, if you hear anything, you come straight to me, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right?
Yeah.
And he
give
sort
him
of
a hug.
he looks at. You're gonna pickpocket him again.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, right, another agility stealth. Because he's distracted, looking over at the two other construction workers. That
So
you've
I'll buy a thing.
Yeah.
Because apparently this is a skills check. I'll re-roll the complication. I'll get some AP, right?
Yeah, so that
I'll
Josh
take back those coins.
Okay, right.
Can you just keep talking to this dude forever, please?
Yeah.
He did say payday wasn't for a little while.
Yeah. Remind him of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if you ever need anything, you come to me as I'm walking away.
Okay, as you
Come on, boy.
take the three caps you just gave him back, but like he kind of rushes out of your arms, and he's kind of like looking over his shoulder, say at the other two construction workers, and he kind of looks to you and all right. And like his eyes linger on you for a moment, Augusta, as he leaves. But then he disappears into the crowd. Bailey,
I'll just say to the no LP, let's carry on.
Bailey, Augusta, what do you make? Like everything has just happened. You overheard most of it, but yeah, the bits that you overheard makes it sound like Clements is gone to the wind. What do you do? What are you thinking?
What am I then? Bloody Scotch mist? Honestly.
Well, yes, we'll work on that. So we can either take our chances that Clements will arrive tomorrow. Doesn't seem particularly likely, of course. Or we could go on the hunt at this bar that they were at and try and pick up the trail.
Absolutely. Jenny was causing ruckus. We need to go find this Jenny.
Not a bad idea. Sounds like it could be fun.
Before we go anywhere, do we want to check with Dr. Rust what he has found out?
I don't know. He's a little bit shady. Do you not think?
Yes.
Marvin turns to you, looks at you, and you can feel the judgment.
But yeah,
You don't know how.
Not sure he's one to trust, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I was not aware you were involved with Augusta.
Oh well, you know, it's more of a secret thing. I didn't really want to put it out. Me and him are good friends over there. She doesn't really know yet. But Augusta, we'll chat later. Don't worry. Yeah, have a cap.
Now listen here, you
Throws a cap.
Oh, Augusta, you don't seem like the kind of girl to do that kind of thing for money.
I dare you! How dare you!
Well, I'll have it back then.
Okay, what's the plan? So from what you've gathered, what you've been told, Clements was at the Black Brahmin with the other construction workers. A fight broke out. There was a murder, and in the chaos, Clements has had his nose broken and is now no one knows where he is. Marvin.
Sorry, go on.
Marvin, referencing Dr. Rast, you know that Rast asked you to kind of rendezvous at the King Harry when you've like he's securing you like lodging for the night, and yeah, when you're done with your investigations as far as they can, you're to rendezvous with him there.
I mean, I would love to see a ruckus.
Just before we get heading off, I think Bailey's just going to look for like pretty much anyone near the construction site. Ideally, one of the guys doing the construction, but like it doesn't really matter that much. And well, I'll just approach the nearest person, I guess, near around this site and be like, "Excuse me, as you can see from my woeful complexion, I am in need of Jesus. Please could you explain to me what these wonderful fellows believe?"
The two construction workers that are still on site, like they've kind of stopped working because they've just noticed that the third of their number has just done a runner, and they're kind of looking over in Happy's direction, like mumbling to one another. And as you approach and ask, they kind of slowly turn to look at one another as well, and they shrug their shoulders. Oh, we're just here to build the place, actually. But
I see. But can you not build also a palace in my heart that will accept me into the kingdom of heaven?
Are you? One of the construction workers approaches and, "Are you all right? Are you?
Do I look all right, sunshine?"
Do you need some help?"
I mean, generally, yeah, but nah, never mind. I mean, if you don't know what's going on, I'll call it a day.
The other construction worker kind of leans in, and Barbara's one of those goddos, ain't she? And they look at Barbara. What, over at Barbara Albert's? Yeah, Barbara Albert. Yeah, I think she's a goddo. Yeah. You can have a word with Barbara.
And where can I find this lovely Barbara?
Yeah, so Barbara's a proprietor of the King Harry.
Well, maybe I'll have a little word then.
And they...
Thank you very much for your time, young men.
That's
and just so you know, us ghouls, we can do stuff in bed you wouldn't believe.
Oh.
Shouldn't be overlooked.
The two construction workers just like they go slack-jawed and look at you.
Give him a wink.
Look at one
Head
another.
off into the night.
Do you get to deal psychic damage with that?
They have no context for this for this statement of fact. But as you fork out very smug with yourself. So you've got the Black Brahmin, which is where Clements was last seen, but Bailey, you've been told that if you're seeking God, then Barbara Albert's.
Yeah, I just fill the rest of them in that I've tried to figure out what this whole church cult thing is about, but I haven't had much luck so far.
So, what's where are we heading? What's the group vote?
I'll say we get Marvin involved in a ruckus.
Okay, so we've got two.
Marvin does
I'd like
perk up
to see
at that.
hardware.
Mona's going to say, I'd like to catch up with Dr. Rast, actually.
Okay, so that's 2 for Brahmin, 1 for King Harry.
Alright.
Augusta?
Maybe we should drop in on Rast, see what he's up to, and then head out for the night. Try and find him after.
Well, I must say, I'd much rather see Marvin use their new hardware.
In which case, with that smirk, yes, the Black Brahmin. So Happy, you know that the Black Brahmin is in a back alley near the east entrance. And as you head in that direction, like as you kind of duck into the alleyways that leads to it, and you notice that the general upkeep of this area of Crystal Palace is distinctly less well upkept. But the Black Brahmin is located within a large scrap metal structure, surrounded by a single brick room. Outside, several fold-out tables make up a small patio. Currently, the drinking establishment is blocked off, swarmed by an angry and confused mob, barely kept contained by some billies. You can see that there are about a half dozen billies desperately trying to fend these drunk patrons off from getting into the pub. You can see 4 of them have got what appear to be riot shields, and 2 behind them with pipe rifles, just kind of looking backwards and forwards, and every so often just kind of pushing someone back who threatens to breach the line. The billies themselves are wearing kind of long blue coats with like metal plates riveted seemingly to them, and atop their heads they wear traditional British policemen, like London police hats, the kind of pith helmet type looking hats with a gas mask and a pair of goggles concealing their identities. The ones with riot shields, you notice have the White Tower sigil of Crystal Palace painted on the fronts. And yeah, besides the pipe rifles, they all appear to be wielding batons as well.
Billy clubs, in fact.
Billy clubs, absolutely. So as you see this kind of commotion, you see a number of the patrons turn and kind of regard you suspiciously. You notice that quite a few of them appear to be eyeing up Bailey suspiciously.
Have we all gone here, or did Bailey and Mona go elsewhere?
If Bailey and Mona wanted to head off,
I didn't know if no, it's fine if we're all together. That's absolutely fine. I didn't know if we'd split.
Sure. Well, let's say we all went to
Fine.
Black Brahmin.
That's fine.
But yes, you notice some of the patrons are eyeing up Bailey suspiciously.
Happy knows this area and wouldn't normally come down here because of his, perhaps let's say altercations with some people. But
misunderstandings.
Yeah, right. Okay, you know it, right? But knowing that we have Marvin, who has been tooled up and upgraded, is walking with a bit of a swagger, and almost the people that are looking at Bailey in that sort of manner is eyeing them back, and sort of doesn't like a bully. Goes is looking at them, going and sort of pointing every occasionally at Marvin.
So
and just
in
winking.
fact, one of the drunk patrons that is giving Bailey the stink eye is in fact the same gentleman that you had physical conversations with over a previous ghoul-related incident. This chap clearly has a thing against ghouls, and you showed him the error of his ways with your fists. And as
Maxi flex.
as he sees you he's looking at Bailey, you notice this settler kind of looking at you, and then his eyes turn to Lucky, and then Lucky directs his attention up to Marvin, and then his eyes return to you, and then he just kind of turns his back and disappears into the crowd.
I'm both very familiar with and not very comfortable with the attention, so I'm just holding on to my mind for comfort.
Sure. So yes, you can see that. Like, if nothing else, you notice that now that the old Bill have turned up, like if there, well, you've been told that there is a murder scene behind the guards. But now that the old Bill are here, armed with their pipe rifles and whatnot, starting a fight may not be. Well, the drunk patrons have decided to stop fighting. They're just trying to get in and get their drinks or possessions or whatnot, and the Billies are just keeping them out. But yeah, what is it you do? There are a couple of people that you can hear kind of looking to one another and whispering, "What's going on? What's
got an
happening?"
idea.
Go
I
on,
say,
Augusta.
Happy. Listen, you must know a Ben Copper or two, and
Oh.
probably a couple of the ones that tell lies and take bribes too. Could you go and deal with some of these guys for me?
Well,
See if you can find out some, some information. You must know a few of these boys.
Firstly, I am shocked and appalled that you think I would stoop down to bribes and everything. Secondly, yeah, I know John.
Mona's going to say to Bailey as that conversation, Bailey, shall we find a table out the way?
Yeah, I think that might not be a bad idea. You can't, swing around your knightly powers to get us in here, can you? Get something sorted?
We'll see, but we'll see how Happy goes first. But if Happy
Yeah.
doesn't make it, then I thought we maybe should keep ourselves a bit separate so that we can make another attempt without being linked to him.
Can't say I'm excellent at being inconspicuous, but you know what?
I'll put my sunglasses on.
We'll give it a go.
Yes, it was probably the royal we, but yes, good idea.
Okay, so Augusta, Marvin, and Lucky, you notice Mona and Bailey kind of peel away to make themselves discreet. As you peer through the crowd, Lucky, actually, you recognize John, who is the sergeant that you can see on scene.
I often call him John Sargent, actually.
In which case you see this. So this basically, this policeman turns and notices you and tilts his head, lifts his goggles up to see if it's actually you, and over the crowd. Right, what's your over the crowd? You alright, Davey?
Oh, John Sargent, my man, how are we doing? Oh, lucky to see it. I'd like to hug him.
So.
Oh no!
Are you pushing
Oh,
your way
God.
through the?
I won't.
Oh no!
But I would like to give him a hug and it was nice to see you, John. It's nice to see you.
So you get jostled a little bit by the crowd, and then you're pulled through the cordon. Augusta and Marvin, are you following?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mona's just going to turn to Bailey. Oh, you did that easily.
These Billies just what? as two people come through, like Happy, a scientist, and a Mr. Handy, and a dog just come through the lines, and then you hear people in the car going, "How come I can get in? Oh, I just need to get my bag off."
At which point, I think Marvin is going to very subtly let the basso and the flamethrower come out and do a mechanical whistling noise. Like a toot, 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 toot.
I didn't like that bag anyway.
Mona!
Feel free to follow, Bailey, if you don't want to miss out.
You reckon we'll, Nah, you're right, let's stake it out. We'll keep an eye.
Sorry, I feel like we've missed a chance. I didn't think they'd be that successful.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they
Bailey.
managed it. All right. If we try and push through, especially with my appearance, might be a little tricky.
Yeah, they've pretty much got it all. That gap they made, they filled it up pretty quickly, didn't they?
Bollocks.
I'm sorry, Bailey.
Maybe we can get around the back.
Yes, great idea.
All right, let's check it out.
Mona's genuinely upset because she did not think Happy was getting through that, let alone within seconds, and is genuinely disappointed for Bailey. Mona could have just sat in the corner and been fine with it, but she knows Bailey likes being in there and pretty much is solely responsible for Bailey missing out now. So is up for it, whatever Bailey wants to do.
Oh,
Sure.
hell yeah.
So as the two of you kind of sneak around the other side to try and get in towards the Black Brahmin from the other side, as you kind of you emerge, there's less of a crowd on this side, but there's still a couple of like billies floating about. You can hear like the groups of people kind of chattering amongst themselves as you try to push your way in. You overhear one of them go, "Terrible stuff that's happened in there tonight." "Yeah, I know. Shit, absolutely terrible. You know what? I reckon it was that fifth column lot. Yeah, they're stirring up all sorts of trouble, aren't they? Yeah, bloody fifth column, yeah."
Can Mona like lean in, just say, "Yeah, ever since that Ava lady came about, there's been nothing but trouble, has there?"
Yeah, that Ava, she's a right troublemaker.
I know, and she just disappears off to that place she goes, wherever it was. Where's she run off to? Can't remember where she...
I heard that they're all underground now. They're
Yeah.
they're all amongst us folks without any money.
Yeah, underground in that place just beyond the church, wasn't it? Somewhere over there, or was it the other place? I don't know. Where was the? You remember where it was underground?
They look to you and, "Sorry, do we know you?"
Mona's gone.
Sorry, I think she's had a couple too many drinks. Come on,
Mona's
Monica.
gonna knock over a glass or something on the way, bump into a table. She's not good at this, but yeah.
Have you ever talked to common people before?
No, that was my best attempt. Did it worked for a little bit? I said Ava was underground. She's
You're
fifth column
doing
lady.
great. Needs a little work.
Right. Okay. Sure. I'm really sorry, Bailey. You should have been in there with Happy now. It's. Oh.
As this happens, like there's been enough with the sound of the glass getting knocked over. Like some of the billies look across. Happy, Marvin, Augusta, you notice that Mona and Bailey have just kind of relocated to the other side of the cordon, and
We're not getting through.
Like Happy with a nudge and a wink, they'll you can convince Sergeant John. Yeah. Okay. So with a nudge and a wink, the billies kind of look at one another. They
and a hug.
He's all right for the hugs today. But yes, you're joined by Bailey and Augusta.
Yeah, I'm probably just like
Bailey
halfway through getting my cricket bat to like put it through a window, and they come out like,
"Oh, thanks, officer."
Thank you so much. I'm not actually drunk, just in case that wasn't clear. I know it was quite convincing.
He's hammered.
John Sergeant, as you refer to him, he's actually Sergeant John. What are you doing? I mean, this isn't a good place to be right now, Davey. It's
No, I have heard.
Yeah,
yes,
terrible.
Sent over here actually to look for someone I think was involved, Mr. Clements.
Clements?
Yeah, right, yeah. I've heard some things. We need to get in touch with him. Me and this crowd. My new friends.
So
John.
the sergeant looks to the other billies and, "Yeah, have any of you seen Clements? Big chap working at the church." And the guards.
I would like to say that it's very important that we catch up with him, and I'd like to get out of my gear a bottle of rum, which is one of the things that I found the last session, and say, look, if you can convince anyone to give you some information, this here bottle, uncorked, my friend, is yours for the taking. I know how you and Debbie like a little dabble in the evening.
He looks to it and
old Debbie.
he looks to you and his eyes narrow for a moment, and then he almost imperceptibly nods as he understands what you're saying. And then he kind of asks. You see him asking around the other guards, and it becomes very clear, like very quickly apparent, that none of them knew that Clements was here. They turned up after the stabbing had happened. So, and when they got here, there was just crowds fighting, which they booted out, and then they found the body on the floor.
Hearing I'll go, oh, that is a shame, and all sorts of stuff. Unless you know anybody that was here while Clements might have been, and they're sort of going to put it away. And
one of the crowd, like this rather bedraggled looking woman, just kind of,
yeah, I saw Clements.
What's the equivalent of an insight check?
it would be a charisma. No, let's do a intelligence speech.
It's a skill check, right? So let's do the old shindig. So I'll re-roll the 20.
Yeah, you are rolling loads of complications.
Yeah. Thank goodness for this re-roll thing. So
Okay.
one success.
One success. Whilst this woman's eyes are fixated on the bottle of rum that you have in your hands, it does seem genuine.
Oh, my lady, maybe we could go over yonder and have a chat with yourself and my good friends.
John clicks his fingers, and so Debbie's not getting that rum then, no?
Hey, I have, don't worry, look, and he'll go to pick up, just to the top of it, another bottle that I have. It's a broken bottle, but he wouldn't know that, because it's at the top of it, and I go, there's some more for you later, my friend. Don't you worry, don't you? I got you sorted. And I'll pack it back in.
You're one of the good ones, Davey,
Hey.
says John.
Same for you, Sergeant.
And as the five of you kind of make your way back through the cordon into the thronging mass, this woman kind of like slinks away with you, and
Yeah, I saw Clements.
All right, is there anything you can tell me and my good friends here about Clements? Maybe the whereabouts. We're looking for specific information if you do want to drink.
Yeah, he was here with his construction crew, the ones building the church. Yeah, and then I don't know what happened. There was an argument between Jenny and that other girl, Lisa, I think her name is. It was a big old argument. There was shouting and screaming, and then Clements went over, and he's a big. He tried to separate the two of them. And his hands on both of them, just kind of separating them. And I think it was Jenny. Like, she took a step back, she grabbed one of the bar stools and bam, smacked him right around the head with it.
Right.
He went like for a lad as big as him. He went down like a sack of shit.
Goodness me, that's so sad. And he got up.
Well, in the confusion, everyone was panicking. There was a bit of screaming, and then the next thing we know, Lisa's on the floor with a knife in her gut. Clements, he picked himself up. He was holding his face or something there. Maybe she broke his nose or something, and he was off like the wind. Yeah.
Off in which direction?
Well,
sorry, Augusta.
He went that way. Like, he left, and I think he went towards the west. Yeah. What's that, darling? What are you saying?
Listen, I don't suppose you could show us exactly where he went?
Well, she kind of points down the alley that you've come down, but the alley kind of kicks round to the right before joining the main kind of boulevard, if you will. Right. So she's just kind of pointing towards the centre of town.
He went that way. I don't know. I wanted to finish my drink, so I stayed here. And then I got kicked out, and I didn't get to finish it at all. Tell you what, police oppression.
Tough game.
Well, paid a lot for that drink.
I'll tell you what. Give me your cup right now. And
she pulls a little metal tumbler out of her dress pocket.
Yeah, he'll get the bottle of rum, uncork it, and that pour in.
All the way to the top, son. Go on, all the way.
Thank you for that. So you were good, but as it wasn't specific information, you just kind of give us. We'll give you half a cup.
It was a three-legged stool.
Go on.
He was wearing clothes. I don't know what you want, love. I mean, he went with pace.
All right, a little bit more. I like you.
You're a darling. Thank you.
No problem. Come here.
And
We're back there.
She holds a finger up and and the rum just goes in one shot.
Strong that is.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uncorked it was, and he puts the cork back in.
Okay. And are you going in for a hug?
Yeah, go on. All right. Well, thank you for your information. We'll leave you be.
As you're going for a hug. Cool. She gives you a hug back.
I better see what I can do. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Okay, so you hug each other, and she manages to pickpocket. So she got what, 3 successes?
Mm.
So she manages to pickpocket a bottle cap off her, and in return, you manage to pickpocket 3 in return, 3 back.
Lovely.
That's a net profit.
Absolutely.
And the two of you part, thinking that you both screwed the other over.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to need a few more of these rataways.
Okay. So,
Mr. Thean Dan,
yes.
is the body still in this pub?
there's a cloth over it, but yes.
Oh, I'm probably still near Mona as well. I'll be like,
Here, Mona. Sounds like there's a bit of confusion in the old fight. You know your way around injuries and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon it looks like someone who was like really tall stabbed this lass? Or
I've been looking over, and yeah. Well, that was going to be my approach if Happy didn't get in, but well.
Give me a perception medicine.
I'll use an AP.
Mm-hmm. Drop us down to 3.
How'd that go?
Successes.
2 successes.
critical, nice.
So you notice that. So there's while Happy was talking, you've seen that there's a body on the ground and there's a blanket draped over it that's tenting slightly, because clearly the blade is still in this poor woman. The angle is the blade handle is pointing down, like towards her feet, almost as if it's been an underhand strike. And I mean, part of the problem is you don't necessarily know how tall Clements is, but everyone said that he's a big guy. And when the way that they've said big guy and kind of raised their shoulders as they've said it, you're expecting he's probably like 6'2", 6'4" at least. That's what constitutes big guy. It would seem that if he was standing, he would have to stoop quite low to have got that knife in. If he was on the floor, he could have potentially stabbed up, but I mean, no one's. You haven't heard anyone mentioning that. You have heard a number of people mentioning very specifically that it was the other woman that stabbed. So, I mean, it could have been him. He could have lunged up from the ground and in the confusion.
It doesn't look convincing, I'm afraid, Bailey. I'm not sure we'd be able to find out much. That knife looks like it could have come from, well, where everyone's saying it's coming from, really.
Ah, that's not as fun. All right.
I know, I'm a bit disappointed as well.
So,
Dan,
yes.
with the amount of blood that's around the murder scene,
Yes.
do we know if it's just the victim's blood or is there some of Jenny's blood too? Wait, who's that who? No matter. You know what I mean.
Jenny stabbed Lisa.
Jenny stabbed Lisa.
Allegedly.
So it would look. So from what you saw, there was just like one blood pool, if you will. There's so you're on the other side of the cordon, so you were able to see one body under a tarp with a tenting with a pool of blood around her. One broken chair, like bar stool, with correctly 3 legs. There are a few drops of blood heading out of the tavern, but as you kind of look around at the dirt floor that everyone's been trampling over, you can't see where it's gone after leaving the establishment.
Okay. However, I think I would know that blood smells fairly strong. Is that correct? Okay, so I think Marvin, while people are talking and doing their things, is trying to sort of usher Mika to smell the blood and like, there you go, good girl, fetch.
Okay. In which case, so Mika, the dog, starts sniffing the area where you can see the spots of blood before you kind of make your way back out through the crowd. And you see Mika, like once you're through the crowd and like Happy's finished talking to, like while Happy's been talking to the woman and plying her with rum, you can see the dog's just been kind of going around just sniffing. And there's a bark from the dog. And as you turn and you think to yourself, Mika found something. Almost like it's a little notification in the top left of your screen. And with a little bounce and a happy tail wag, Mika just kind of shoots out of the alleyway onto the main causeway, like sniffing the ground as she goes. Where it is now later, like it's been at least an hour, the streets are a lot more empty, and Mika is able to basically snuff away all the it's clearly picked up a scent.
Nice.
No, he's probably going to say to Bailey, not really sure why he would have run away so quickly if he just got clobbered with a stool. If she didn't do any of the stabbing and wasn't involved, if he was trying to stop the fight, why didn't he stick around?
That's my thinking. Bit weird, isn't it?
Looks like Mika's found something. Nice one.
Yeah, Marvin actually doesn't really alert the others of what he's doing.
Enough.
But now you guys absolutely see it. But you also see that Marvin just goes that kind of follows the dog.
I guess it's difficult to miss.
Yes, the Mr. Handy takes the dog for a walk.
Might just grab Happy as we're leaving. Just get him away from this lady that he's plying with alcohol. Come on.
Come on, Augusta.
Yes. All right.
So,
apologies.
Marvin, as you follow after Mika, as she sniffs out as he sniffs out the blood scent, you basically Mika crosses the entire half mile of Crystal Palace until you're relatively past the central fountain in the central courtyard, to closer and closer towards the west entrance. The dog stops at the entrance and sniffs around the entrance for a bit, looks left and right, before barking again, and heading south down an alleyway. There's a few more sniffs until eventually the dog kind of sniffs the ground, stops, looks up at a door that is closed in front of you, and you realize it's one of the settlement buildings, just like one of the little living shacks. And Mika turns to look at you, looks up to you, Marvin, and like sits on his haunches, looking up at you expectantly.
Ah. Marvin awkwardly, the good dog, and pats the dog on the head with his non-lethal arm. Do I have a non-lethal arm? I'm not sure if I do.
You've got a claw, yeah.
Yeah, the claw will do, just like screech, screech.
Thunk, thunk. So as you pet Mika, the dog like barks. And as you like the dog bark is enough that it kind of makes you all jump. And a few moments later, the door opens of the shack that you're sat outside of. Standing in the doorway is an old, tall, dark-skinned man with a shaven head and beard. He is dressed in dirty work clothes beneath a heavy leather vest with many pockets that contain tools for construction and woodworking. His nose looks recently busted and is held across its bridge by a bandage with spots of blood staining through the binding. He looks up and down the alleyway warily and then back to you. The name's Clements, though I can't say I know who you are, he says, quietly enough as not to be heard.
Are the others close by?
Yes.
But not right there, so...
Not right there.
In which case, Marvin is going to say, "Hello, my name is Marvin. Do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior, Robot Jesus?"
And with that, we will call it there. Congratulations, everyone, on completing episode 3.
Found him.
Found
Yeah.
him.
There he is.
Yes.
So it's the dog all along.
So, yes, congratulations on all. We will see what mysteries lie around this Clements character and how he knows Mika, and we'll see what happens then. So, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. We do lots of stuff like this, so if you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comments on your favorite bits, and hit the subscribe button with the bell icon for notifications for all of our uploads. I've been me. Just as a real quick one, scanning through, because we have some celebrities among us. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
I'm on Twitter, house_of_Hugh. That's HYGGE.
Marvelous. And the lovely gents from Fox's Table Gaming, where can we find you?
Hyper G can be found with Lucky Sixes.
On most of your social media platforms. We are PTG Lucky Sixes on Twitter. YouTube is Proxy Table Gaming, where we have lots of wargaming videos.
Amazing. And Tilda and Tim, you can find here on the Explorers of Elsewhere channel. So, yes, thank you once again. And with all that said, take care.
And thank you, Dan, as well.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dan.
thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
My mother always told me that I had a splendid voice. In fact, I'd sing in opera if they'd give me my choice. I wrote to Oscar Hammerstein that I would be his star. He said, come down and sing for me.